right, there we are.
I'm waiting for us.
Yep.
Waiting for it. Here, there we are.
There goes Sandy wandering by.
There we are.
Yep. We have appeared yet again. Amazing.
Yep. Just when you think you finally got rid of us. When you thought like, oh, these guys are all they're going to be doing now is just making shorts.
Yeah. It's a Switch 2 channel now.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I get excited when new Nintendo consoles come out. What can I say? You know, even you know, even when there's, you know, not everything is perfect, but you know,
yeah. I see a lot of people saying that, like, you know, that Joe let me out of the TV behind him.
Yeah.
After he like stole all of our footage, like maybe that's a recurring stealing back and forth thing that will happen.
Stealing the M2 footage. Yeah. You know what'd be funny is like I've got like on this shelf behind me, and like actually I think some of them might be, I've got like big like film reels.
And that's the M2 footage.
That's the M2 footage.
We shot on film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be funny actually. We should do that. Yeah, I honestly I didn't even know about this. Like
yeah. I mean, I just told him he could use whatever he wanted to.
No, but I had no idea that like, oh, you like shot little things for his video. I didn't know anything about this. So this is all a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, he like asked me a while ago. He was like, "Oh, do you think I could use anything that you shot?" And what's funny is I have like we have like a ridiculous amount of captured stuff.
Yeah.
From their games. And like a lot of that was like stuff that we captured too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of the game stuff. Like the PS3 Sega Vintage Collection stuff was Neo Geo Station. None of the portable stuff.
Well, boy, what an easy episode that was for him to make.
No, I mean, he worked on it for a while, actually. Like it was like I'm trying to think about when I shot that. I feel like it was after we shot the Switch 1
so actually, well, that's like,
I feel like I might have the same shirt on even for that too.
That's like yesterday in Joe's time scale.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking this is something he's asking you for like in March at the latest.
No. I mean, I can look. Let me see if I had it on Dropbox.
I mean, Joe has videos done like 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time usually, right? Or more?
Something like that. So let me see if I can find it here. I mean, I think it was May 25th when I shot that. So, I mean, almost a month ago, I guess. Are you there?
Yeah. I'm just nodding my head like, okay, all right, yeah. So yeah, that was pretty fun. All of the appearances there. So I'm going to switch over to I'm actually
this game has no widescreen mode, correct? There's
correct.
No
it does not. So I just wanted to show that because, you know, we've got our menu with stuff here. So what I've done here is you can change the controls to, as you can see, I swapped left and right camera to make it a little more modern, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be on this layout, so that's why I set it up so that we can be on here. And I'm actually, for my TV, I've got it on the RetroTink purely so that I've got the output set to 1080p because I mean, this emulator is not doing, it's not doing anything above 1080p. In fact, I'm not positive, but I think the pixel count is, I think it's just 2x 480p. I think it's 960p.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I mean, the 2D elements are definitely
right. I mean, so what I'm
across all the games, yeah.
What I'm finding is that I actually, for stuff that's like 1080p or less, which, for better or worse, does include the GameCube emulation app, even though it's exclusive to Switch 2. I am finding that just saying the switch to 1080p is a little bit better than, it's 1080p upscaled to the 4K. Because it's a sharpened output, and I find that I can get it looking better on my TV with like the
running like the 1080p into the tank.
Well, not even using the tank. I mean, you could if you want. But since I wanted to crop out for my TV, I didn't want to see like the borders, right? I am running through the tank, and I'm using like I thought it looked best with either bilinear standard or cubic filtering, with all of the way that it's scaled, like nearest neighbor or bilinear sharp didn't really look good. I'm not a huge fan of Langschoss, which I think it's some form of Langschoss is actually what the system does for 1080p upscaled to 2160p, I believe, because it is a sharpened scale, which I'm not it's like not that noticeable really, but like on the whole, I would say you can get it looking better on your own if you output 1080p. For stuff that doesn't go above 1080p anyway. I mean, you're not going to want to play Mario Kart World, that way, because that, Mario Kart World is 1440p and it looks really sharp and good, right? So you want to output 480p or 2160p for that. But for something like this, there's no reason to not just set the system to 1080p and then like scale it another way. Like, so I mentioned in the...
Oh, I will say that I will not... I'm not changing things around.
I know. I'm talking for the people who are interested, and I know that's not you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just use the... I mean, that's something I definitely thought about, though. I thought, like, I wonder if...
Yeah.
If the games, like any certain games would run better, like especially like if they're just running 1080p.
I don't think that's going to be a thing on Switch.
Because like how the PS4 Pro had the ability to put it at 1080p and games would run at a higher frame rate. Some games would.
Very few games like that. That's a rare exception. I don't think there's any Xbox games that work that way, and I don't think there's going to be Switch games that work that way. The only exception would be if there's something that has like a quality and performance mode, and if the performance mode has to go to 120 hertz, like in Cyberpunk, then it's going to go down to 1080p, 1440p anyway. But yeah, that's you're not going to get performance benefit doing that on Switch or Switch 2. Now, one thing I will say. I booted up the GameCube version. Just the last time I played through this game was on Wii U, and I know a lot of people don't like how the Wii U version looks because of how like bloomy it is, and the shading is less flat. So it definitely looks different. One thing I will say though, the GameCube version is like really blurry, like more than just a few yards ahead of you. There's this like depth of field effect that I didn't remember at all.
Wait, the GameCube version is like that?
I don't know about the Wii U version. It's been a long time since I booted it up. But
I do recall like the blur though. I feel like Twilight Princess is like that too.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look very good to be honest. And
isn't like Mario Sunshine like that also?
Maybe to some extent, but
like I always thought of Mario Sunshine, it was meant to be like
the haze, like the heat haze, which here I didn't think it really worked that well.
I
I was surprised. Like, I think it would look good on a CRT, but probably not much anything else. Or, you know, with CRT effects. Yeah, I was surprised that I'm not certain if that effect is just like completely removed here or if it's just like it doesn't look like it's here. Like I feel like it's removed. I don't know like how Dolphin does it. But before I get too into anything, the one problem with using the GameCube controller, and you can check this in F-Zero GX because it has a calibration tool. The sticks reach full tilt too early. So this is especially noticeable here. Like there is a very small range of this C stick where I can actually do like a slow pan. And I checked it against original hardware. You are doing like a full tilt pan, like maybe halfway through the tilt on original GameCube. But the way they've calibrated the GameCube controller for this emulator, like you are at full tilt, like hardly any ways into your, like, I don't know, 30-40% into your tilt is max tilt. And so there's not, and it's the same for walking. Like Link gets to a full walk pretty quickly. Now, something I wanted to test, because I didn't test this. I tried this in F-Zero with the calibration tool, showed that the Pro Controller and the Joy-Cons seem to utilize the full range of their pivot. So I want to actually try this with Wind Waker briefly. Okay. And I'll probably still use the GameCube controller just because I won't have to like fiddle with make the button mapping weird. Oh. No, it's just as bad.
So maybe it's more of an issue with the
it might be per game
with the app than it is with the controllers themselves. I mean, if it's working, if it's happening with both, and I guess a way to test that would be to try the GameCube controller in something else, right?
Oh yeah,
like in a non-GameCube game.
Right. And I did that a little bit in Mario Kart, but that's like the only thing I've done. And that was like when I first got it. So
yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's definitely, you know, it's not perfect, but you know, like I've written in the script of our video, we are not like the passion behind Dolphin is just like so intense. Like it's like
because it's awesome.
It is,
know? And they like put so much work into it.
And it's just like it's kind of I feel like it's always been like the poster child. I'm going to create a save state here, by the way, because I might want to use this for like comparisons in the video. By the way, this made me think of something scary. Like, you know, when you save your game, like you could load an earlier save point, save your game, and like potentially lose progress because your save would be tied to like what state you were on when you most recently did a save, right?
Yeah.
So like you just have to be careful. Like, because
I was thinking like,
I want to make some save states so I can jump back to places I want to make comparisons or record footage or something. But you would have to be careful. You would have to be careful.
You know, there was $2 from Dad1153 about 8 minutes ago saying, play Soul Calibur 2 to see the entire GameCube catalog. I assume that he's saying that Soul Calibur 2 is the only good game in the GameCube catalog, maybe?
or maybe the 3 games here are the only, like, I mean, these are all like,
they're all top tier games.
They're all top. I mean, it's a good launch lineup for sure.
Yeah.
Like they chose good games to start with, even though people will probably have mixed feelings about Wind Waker.
I mean, yeah. And not only that, but they're all games with an insane amount of content.
Yeah.
If that was all you're going to play, if you got the Switch 2 and you just played the GameCube app, like you'd be set for months.
Yeah, especially considering it'll take you a year to get through the F-Zero GX story mode.
Exactly.
Even though it's
I
like
really, that was the whole idea for this game being played tonight came from the fact that I said that Troy should play the F-Zero GX story mode, which is insanely difficult.
I've beaten it though.
It is so frustrating that I've never been able to finish it. I got really, really close. I think that there's 10 chapters, I think, and I think that I got to 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got to beat them on very hard to unlock the arcade characters just takes it that much further in wanting to absolutely die just doing that. The idea of doing that again, much less for 3 hours straight during a live stream.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an idea for another time.
Tough.
But I thought about Wind Waker because it's like, like I am not super likely to play all the way through the Switch 2 version of Wind Waker. And it would be nice if maybe I made a little progress in this and then I could like record some stuff for the video that's like not literally just Outset Island.
Yeah. I was telling Tribe at the beginning or before we put the stream live that I've only played this game once.
Yeah, kind of surprised. I'm surprised you never
for it, but I wonder if I would feel differently about it now. I never played the GameCube version, or no, I only played the GameCube version. I've never played the Wii U version.
Yeah,
even though I have it.
Yeah, I was surprised you hadn't. I mean, but I always forget, like, other than like A Link to the Past and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like you're not like that big of a Zelda guy.
Right. I'm good like once.
Yeah.
One time through and I'm good.
I will say, like, from back here.
Although I guess I've only played Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild one time also. But I put in significantly more time. How long is a typical playthrough of this, would you say?
Oh gosh, I mean, I don't know because they don't put the time in. Oh gosh, this
don't.
is,
Okay.
With the sensitive stick, this is a little difficult to like look through the telescope. They really should fix that. I hope they do. I mean, not that using the telescope is a major feature of the game, but
30-ish hours. I guess that would make sense because there's not a lot of dungeons, isn't there? There's like 4 dungeons.
There's 5 main dungeons.
Okay.
But there's like
I'm only thinking about it because I recently booted up my GameCube version of Twilight Princess, and it was like 44 hours I had on that.
Oh, they have a timer in that?
Yeah. And I feel like that was pretty long, and also Skyward Sword was maybe a bit too long too.
Well, Skyward Sword just gets too long because it like
repeats the same.
It repeats the same. You have to go to like the same places again and again and again and again. The overworld is like not interesting at all.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can I just get the sword, or do I need to like check something else first?
But despite the look of it, would you say that if I was going to replay this game, I should replay the Wii U version?
Probably. I mean, it's so interesting because
a bit more, right?
Because people wanted Twilight Princess, Twilight Princess as well, but they want this and Twilight Princess on Switch so badly. The HD versions, there was so much clamoring for it. But there's also like, probably a more of a minority voice, but not that much. Oh wait, I don't need to do this. I already did this tutorial.
That's a good opportunity though, because Potbelly Punch with $2. Thank you, saying I heard the input lag was horrendous. Seems okay to me. It's a good way to see what the input lag is like, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the most sensitive to it. You know, when I say input lag is bad, you know it is. I mean, I'm always trying to minimize it, but I mean, it's not bothering me and by any means. It's the actual like calibration is what's wrong to me.
I'm sure those HD versions will get a Switch 2 release. I think it'd be crazy for them not to. But I wonder if they will tweak the aspects of Wind Waker HD that people didn't like, specifically the lighting. If they will adjust that at all. Okay, yeah, lots of people are saying that Wind Waker HD's lighting engine is bad, but other changes were for the better.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some people though argue against even argue against like the quick sale thing. Which, you know, I can see the point, although I think most people are not going to really care.
Yeah. The thing I most remember about this game is that it has the best final blow.
Oh.
Of any game in the series, I think.
Oh, easily. It's super shocking. Yeah. Honestly. Like, especially given the perception people had of this game, like beforehand, but like before it came out.
Yeah.
It's very, it's pretty over the top.
Yeah.
It's a great moment. There's a reason it's in continue. The backloggery stream.
Oh yeah,
opening.
yeah. I had totally forgot about that. And you still use that, right? You still use continue, that same continue?
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
I mean, I want to redo it someday, but you know, it just never happens.
Yeah.
Wait, do I? Maybe I don't need this.
I feel like the time to redo it has passed now.
It's like I'm not allowed to.
It's so important.
It's
in
like
its current state that it cannot be changed.
It's like, you know, like recorded with like composite and S video and with like MPEG encoding.
Yeah. Like in 2006.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely thought about that. Like if I were to redo it and make it actually look good, there would be like a backlash. Like people would hate it.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you've been using it for almost 20 years.
That's, oh my gosh, don't say it. Don't say it.
That intro is almost old enough to drink.
I mean, I don't know exactly when we made that. It was, well, let's see, when did Resident Evil 5 come out? Because it's in it. Is that 2009? I think Resident Evil 5 is 2009. Or, you know, it could be 2008.
March 5th, 2009. Okay.
Okay, so it was probably like that intro is probably from like 2009, like mid 2009 to early 2010, okay. I would guess.
All right. So the intro
is like 15
get his driver's license.
Huh?
Not close to being old enough to drink, but it has its driver's license now, for sure.
Cool decision.
And a member for 28 months. Thank you. Saying happy Sunday. Always good vibes with some Wind Waker. Always love the art style of this game from when it was first announced. Well, you were one of the few, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think the big thing that really got people. Why when I choose? Oh wait, switch. Okay. Did I already have it on the right one?
The haters are always louder. The hatters are gonna hat.
Yeah, I mean, I think
like
most people were okay with this by the time it came out. Like most of the real Zelda fans, and it's like really funny to think about how people had tears in their eyes because with the reveal of Twilight Princess.
People wanted that mature Zelda.
Yeah, they just wanted it so badly, and now like Twilight Princess is like not even half as beloved as this.
Yeah.
But people were just a lot of Nintendo fans were very self-conscious during the N64 and GameCube eras.
Well, because they were given such a hard time about it being kiddie.
Yeah.
Like there was a whole like 2 generations about like Nintendo's kiddie.
Yeah.
Like, who wants Nintendo? Too kiddie.
Yeah. And
it's
so like they felt like
right?
Twilight Princess was like a validation of what they had in what Zelda was in their head.
Yeah. And now nobody says that at all.
Yeah.
Like nobody says Nintendo is kiddie. That was just
it was
just a period of time where that was that's just like something they were thinking about all the time.
I think also nowadays, like, you've got stuff like anime has like become so entrenched in like popular culture, like people like multiple generations of people have like, gotten into their 20s and 30s where like it was not embarrassing. I mean, you're the one with kids, you tell me. But like, I get the impression that it's like like not embarrassing to like these things in like middle school and high school anymore.
No.
Whereas, I mean,
Pokemon in general is such a good example of that.
Right. Cause I always talk about how,
if you were a certain age when Pokemon came out, then everyone just loves it.
Right. Right. And see, when
nobody loses that love anymore. Or like, no
one loses it anymore.
Put away my childish things and can't like it anymore.
Right. And it was so different back then.
Yeah.
And, I was like right at like that borderline age when Pokemon came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always embarrassed. Like, there was only like a small handful of friends that I would talk to about it. And those were like the people who like were like the gamers, like the people who get gaming for gaming's sake, because like everyone else just perceived it as being this like multimedia kids thing that was like everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't like my interest in it was because it was a good game, but normal people didn't see it that way. Right.
Yeah.
But now people understand, and it's like, it's different. And like, adults are the biggest fans of like Pokemon Go and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I always say that I didn't get into Pokemon because it came out when I started college.
Right.
So it just wasn't something that, even though I loved RPGs, I was too entrenched in what the PS1 was doing.
Yeah. Well, I was never like really embarrassed of like Nintendo stuff except for Pokemon. Like Pokemon was just something that I was just like, and I think it was because of that multimedia aspect. Like you just couldn't concisely explain to a normal person that like this isn't a kid's cartoon. This is a video game that's really good, right?
Yeah.
And you know, that's just not how they perceived it. But like stuff like, you know, this game came out my first year of college. You know, I wasn't ashamed of that. You know, I was never ashamed of Kirby. Pokemon was like the only thing that I was a little self-conscious about. And it's just because I knew that people just had a hard time like perceiving like what that was at that time. But now everyone knows what it is and no one cares. No one cares. Like, it's not embarrassing, you know?
Yeah.
But also, you know, like you said, like it is my perception or assumption that like cartoonish stuff isn't like embarrassing as people grow up nowadays.
Right.
I think it's just so much more
I'd say
part
it all
of
the time to my kids, you know, like I just say in general, because they all play Fortnite and Minecraft and stuff together. And I say, you know, like when I was your age, it wasn't cool to like be into this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, people were,
but
it's not
like,
something that like people like talked about outside of like, we're gonna
I feel like most
do this for a little while tonight.
Most kids probably had a game console, but like, being super into it, like being into it was like not cool at all.
Right.
Like you might play, you know, a game here or there. You play your sports games or your shooting games or something, just like a lot of people still do today. But like being into games for game's sake. Like that was you were made fun of.
Yeah. There was $5 from Container 7 with no message, but thank you.
Thank you as always.
Thank you. If you meant to leave a message, please just let me know. Or if I missed it already, please just repeat it. And also there's $4.99 from Scott Snyder, saying MLiG streams are always great to watch after a crazy week. Thanks again for the help, Coury. So Scott Snyder filmed something at a concert. He went to Red Rocks and saw a musician. And when he was recording his wife's favorite song on his phone, he had forgotten to turn off his GPS. So I was trying to give him like directions, like during for 5 seconds in the middle of the song.
Oh.
And at first I was like, I don't know if I can fix that. Like, let me take a look. I don't know if there's anything I can do. Like, part of me hoped that maybe something like that, something internally would be like on a separate audio track for some reason. But no, and it like makes the audio from the show like drown out behind that. So I had an idea. And it worked out actually like completely amazing and is almost flawless. So he found somebody. I asked him to see if he could find somebody else who filmed the same thing on their phone. If they could just find it on YouTube,
like from the same the exact same concert,
for the exact same show. So I just like cut that little bit out. He was able to find one, and then I downloaded it, and I lined them both up on a timeline, and I so that they're like playing concurrently, right? Mm-hmm. And I just like cut out the part with the voice, and then just swapped it in, put like a long crossfade on it, and it literally does not. It sounds perfect. It's. I was amazed.
Wow.
That it came out as well as it did.
You know, speaking of you know, doing things to get rid of background noise and whatnot, you know, as people who do not use like, you know, voice chat on video game consoles.
Yeah.
You know, game chat seemed pretty impressive to us, but we really didn't have a lot of frame of reference for like, is this like better than like what you get on other consoles? Like you had a little frame of reference because your kids play,
my kid like play stuff on PS5, like, and it watches his friends play and streams to his friends. Like, and they all play like their own game, so it's just like in a little window in the corner.
Yeah, but like still, like I had no idea like how, like especially like the voice side, and
Right.
you know the 2 hour long Switch 2 review came out on Digital Foundry yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think I only watched about 30 minutes
Um,
of it. I listened to a lot of it.
Anyway, I thought it was really interesting. Like, you know, as someone who like doesn't have a lot of knowledge of how these things are on other consoles. It was really interesting to hear them say that, like, in terms of like the voice quality and just like general ease of use, like it actually is like quite considerably above like what's offered on PlayStation and Xbox, especially in terms of just like sound, like voice clarity, sound reduction,
Right, like voice stuff.
like
not video feed, obviously, but
I would assume not, but like the actual voice, like it's just so easy to use. Like it does, you know, yeah, Oliver was saying it's like pretty much the best he has ever heard in like a real-time application in terms of like getting rid of like background noise.
right. Yeah, it's insane because we thought it was using like a microphone on the Pro controller at first.
Right.
Right?
That's
on
actually
launch
like,
day when we were doing it.
I think that's just the light that comes on when it's charging. We've been like, oh, that's a microphone.
No, I think that's a separate thing.
Well, it's just on the console. It's on the console. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, they were saying that like on PlayStation, if you're using like the microphone on the console, you can hear like clacking of the controllers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't get that on Switch, obviously. When there's like a demo in Welcome Tour, and I was actually playing in handheld mode at the time. I was just like banging on the side of my couch here like this as I was talking, and you could like basically not hear that at all when it played my voice back to me.
That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. There was $10 from Jersey117. Thank you. With no message. But if you meant to leave a message, let me know. Yeah, I mean, my son talks with his friends on voice chat on his with his his dual sense, and I feel like maybe the microphone's not very good because I always feel like he's like holding it in front of his mouth all the time.
Oh, he's like playing like this.
Yeah, he's just like.
I feel like I
know.
used to play a lot like that, like my hands up here like this. I used to also play a lot like this. I mean, I might sometimes still do that. Do you ever do this? Like just like rest your head on your like rest your.
All the time. Like you play it behind your head. Yeah. Absolutely.
I used to like in Mario RPG. There's like these rewards that you get for like doing a certain number of like consecutive jumps, and I was like superstitious about like I always like feel like I get the timing better when I like hold my arm over my head like this. it just I don't know, I just felt like I was able to get the timing right better.
Just happens, right? I guess. I've been playing that Super Mario RPG a little bit myself.
Is real
The
good.
idea that it's a 12-hour game sounded appealing to me.
Yeah. Well, I
But
mean, granted,
I barely played it. Like I guess I had almost gotten to the first star like when it came out, just like trying it out. But I was like kind of amazed at just how good looking of a game it is. I didn't realize. But I wanted something short that wouldn't take up that I can care if I finished or not.
Yeah, I mean you beat it on Virtual Console back in the day, right?
Yes. Yeah, and then I was able to extract that save and put it on the cartridge that I bought later. But I really want to start Death Stranding 2 on day one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to get involved in anything.
Right. Well, I'm kind of the same way because like I want to start Death Stranding 2 as soon as possible, but I want to beat Cyberpunk before I get involved in that. Oh, that's on a timer. I want to beat Cyberpunk first because like I don't want to leave a game like that hanging before. So.
Yeah,
I didn't want to get involved in I really want to stream Bakeru.
Yeah.
But like that again, that's like I'm just like I'm not looking to start anything right now.
It feels really weird to me that Death Stranding 2 is like coming out.
It's weird to me that
Already.
it exists at all.
Yeah, but also the fact that it's been a long time since the first one came out, but it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
I'm doing terrible here. Huh?
I mean, I just remembered recently that I played that when I lived in my old house. Because when did that come out? I mean, I played it was it like November of 2019?
Right. So I kind of one of my like first memory of playing Death Stranding was I basically like had no clue what kind of game this is. And it's like almost no kind of game at all. It just kind of is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Drum and Lynn were asking me like, oh, do you even like know anything about this? Like, we think it would be really funny if you like didn't play it until a backloggery stream.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that.
Well, it might have even
watching the intro before you even.
I mean, maybe it came out on did it come out on a Monday? I don't know. Either way, I did stream it. I did stream like the first time I played. But here's the embarrassing thing. Like this is going to like nullify like all of my cred. I don't think like the Digital Foundry video was out yet. And I was really confused when the video came out like a day or two later. I think it was like the next day. And John was like, oh, it's a really consistent 30 frames per second. I'm like, what? It was like a super wobbly, like uncapped frame rate, and it had these like really weird, like temporal artifacts. And then I'm like, wait a second. And I had changed something about, like, I think I'd like changed what inputs I was using on my TV, and I hadn't like played anything in 4K yet since doing that. So my TV, like I hadn't.
Oh, it had all the old settings.
It had like all of the motion.
Settings.
It had the motion interpolation on.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was I noticed it. I definitely noticed like this is not right. But like I thought like I had like and then like I didn't realize until I watched the Digital Foundry video that it's like, oh yeah, it's got really good image quality on PS4 Pro and it's a stable 30 frames per second. I'm like, no, it actually looks really weird and it's like an unstable frame rate. That just goes to show how bad.
It's interesting that it could like screw up the frame rate.
Well, because it was trying to, interpolate it to 60, but it was like inconsistent though, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it looked like, it was like, I don't know, like 50 frames per second or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely noticed, but it just didn't occur because I would never have something like that on, right? Like intentionally. Like obviously it had been off, but because of whatever I had done changing my layout, changing my video routing, and I hadn't played the PS4 Pro since doing that. And you know, it like saves certain settings like per like signal type, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I'd probably been playing, you know, Switch or something. I don't know what I'd been playing.
Well, I
And so
don't
when
think anybody's gonna hold it against you.
yeah, well, when I, you know, so yeah, like it certainly not intentional, but I mean, if I had like not noticed, I guess that would be the thing that would destroy my cred.
Yeah.
I'm so unpracticed at looking at, you know, TV motion interpolation that I assumed it was the game.
Yeah.
Like I thought, like, why, man, it's got these like weird trails behind everything, and like the frame rate's really unstable. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like obviously,
You know,
obviously there would have been lag too, but like it's the kind of game where you don't really feel lag because it's so much about like balancing this load on your back. Like it's a very heavy feeling game anyway, right?
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I don't remember very much from the game. And like I wouldn't say that I understood it. Like maybe at a very, very surface level, like, oh, this thing happened. But I don't really I didn't understand like a lot of the meaning of anything or like why it was happening. And I watched this 6.5 minute video that Sony put out this past week.
Oh, well, you need to link me to that because I need a refresh.
It's like
as
recapping it.
You still don't understand it.
And it still doesn't make any sense.
I mean, let's be honest though. I think like any sort of like highlight reel that like is put out by like someone like Sony, like is not going to actually be the meat that you're looking for.
No, and like, and it's okay. It's okay not to understand it completely. It's just like, all right, this thing happened.
I mean,
and now what's going to happen next?
Here's the
I don't
thing,
need to
that,
understand it.
I would say I didn't fully understand either, but I think I was pretty close to understanding it for the most part, because like I remember thinking like the very basis for this game makes zero sense, and yet, and so I was like, I just like accepted like this story is not going to make sense in the end.
Yeah.
And like all of these, like this, and that, like it's not going to be explained. But then guess what? It was. Like I should never doubt Kojima to like over-explain everything. He did. He did. Like I just thought he couldn't do it this time, but he did.
Yeah, but I mean, like I don't remember like any of the explanation. All I can remember is the fact that I couldn't believe that there was like a Mario and Princess Peach reference.
Oh
in a Sony game. That's the thing I remember the most about.
I forgot about that. That is funny. That is funny. Yeah.
There was $5 from Enchilada.
Oh,
thank you. Saying, how do you feel? How do you feel with Wind Waker on the Switch 2? It gives me the itch to play it in a bit. We'll play after Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Have fun, gentlemen.
It's I mean, I think it looks quite nice. Like I said, the way the sticks are translated to the Switch 2 is a little oversensitive, but it's, you know, it's not to a point that makes it unplayable for me, but there are things they could improve, but it's I think it's a solid starting point.
There's also $2 from Dad1153. Thank you.
Oh.
Saying non-Nintendo NOA GameCube titles you want but are unlikely to be on Switch 2.
You know, I have to say, I've
Phantasy Star Online. I would love if they've released Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 Plus.
Oh wow, yeah.
On there with online play. That would be insane, right? That would be incredible.
That'd be a
but no way that's going to happen. But it would be so cool if it did.
Yeah. Non-Nintendo games. I mean, it would be really. I mean, I think it's actually relatively likely because it's not like there are no. It's not like there aren't any third-party N64 games, for instance. I know a lot of people. People think there aren't any, but they've got some. It's a weird selection, but does Capcom do
Release stuff on
stuff on Switch Online? Because they've definitely got some interesting GameCube games.
Piano, like a lot of people in the chat are saying, Piano 3
would be very good.
Or I'm saying like Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe
1 and 2 would be great.
Yeah.
Because there was a little glimmer of time when Capcom was one of the biggest third-party publishers on the system, right? Maybe the biggest one, right?
Yeah.
Because they had the Capcom 5 or whatever, whereas it's supposed to be these exclusive games.
Yeah.
That we could get stuff like Killer 7 would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Capcom would be very interesting for sure.
Dude, I hope they release Resident Evil 4.
Because, it would be nice if it actually filled the screen. I mean, really though, what I would if it would be amazing if they had the Wii version with Joy-Con gyro, Joy-Con motion aiming.
Yeah.
That would actually be a really good version.
Yeah, I see some people saying Skies of Arcadia Legends.
Yeah.
If they can make the audio a better bit rate, then I would think about it.
Shinjan brought up Beach Spikers, which I've never played, but I've heard a lot of people say it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got that. When did I get it? A year ago. And I've never really played it much, but I know that it's well regarded.
Mm-hmm.
That and Sega Soccer Slam. I think it'd be cool if they released Rogue Squadron 2 and 3.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty huge actually.
Yeah, and they should do Rogue Squadron 1 on the N64 app.
Yeah.
What else? They should do Monkey Ball.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of good Sega stuff they could put on there.
Yeah, I see Gauntlet Dark Legacy. That's a game that I have, but I've never played it. I got it. I found it as a Goodwill find, and I think it's expensive now. But I'm looking at all the games that I have on the GameCube, and basically it's Nintendo, Sega, and Capcom games, and the occasional Square and Konami game. And I guess I have Pac-Man World 2 because of it came with that extra Pac-Man Versus disc. But I think that's it. There's no other developers or third parties that I own games from.
I actually completely forgot about picking up other weapons in this game, to be honest. Hadn't thought about that in a long time.
Rogue Squadron Rogue Squadron 2 is insanely good. Yeah. I think it holds up really, really well. And
I don't really like the other Rogue Squadron games that much, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean 3 adds the stupid on foot stuff.
But even the first one, me being an N64 guy, I feel like the first Rogue Squadron is one of the N64 games that people who aren't even N64 people universally consider oh yeah, that's a good one. But I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not one of my favorites personally.
I think it was recently. I think it was when you were here and we were at Vacuums and Video Games, where I remembered out of nowhere about that Battle for Naboo game. Oh, yeah. That's kind of it's a spin-off, but it's by Factor 5. It's essentially a sequel, right?
I at the time, I liked that game more than Rogue Squadron. I don't know if it would, I know the frame rate gets pretty hairy. I don't know if I would feel the same way today, but at the time, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I think they should release a 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker.
I haven't finished the GameSack GameCube video yet, but I was watching a bit of it this morning because I was like, oh man, I wouldn't need to watch this M2 video. I better catch up and finish the GameCube video. So I was watching a little bit of it this morning, and I Battalion Wars is just like a game I never think about. And I had that back in the day. I sold it because I didn't.
Oh yeah. I
didn't like it, but like Joe's video like made the animation looks really good and stuff, and I'm like,
I wonder if it's
like
because he went into it initially with the expectation that it was going to be like a console version of Advance Wars.
Yeah, and it's got this like very like super kind of like I don't know, like the character designs are like very like obnoxious like American designs. Like it does not have it lacks the vibes of Advance Wars, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was not a fan, and I didn't. He was saying like it wasn't like really very difficult to, manage the like strategy stuff with the action stuff, but I remembered being frustrated by that. So I wonder if I maybe wouldn't feel that way so much today.
I don't know. I feel like it's not that expensive of a game.
I never look for it because for one, I forget it exists, and two, I didn't like it back then. But like I don't know, he kind of had me wonder. So that's even though it is a Nintendo game, I think we can talk about other games we might wish for. This is just a silly little thing, but. Watching that box fall, like
And the fact that there's like a little crevice for it to like.
Well, yes,
sit
very silly, but I thought it was so cool back in the day that in the Soul Reaver games, like really, at this time I hadn't even played Soul Reaver 2. Like I didn't actually play Soul Reaver 2 until like early PS3 days, which that game can't be finished on PS3 actually. So that's kind of irrelevant, but like the box when it goes over the edge, it actually like does like 190-degree turn as it falls instead of just like going off and then straight down like they do in these games.
Does it goes out and then turns in the air?
Yeah.
And falls?
Yeah.
So it doesn't tip over. It just like goes out.
Yeah, it looks realistic.
It almost like it's very like Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote-esque.
But it's realistic though, is my point.
Oh, okay. So
like
not Wile E.
I'm not saying it's like cartoony, I'm just saying it's like it's like realistic, like it turns, like it instead of just like because it like shows that the box has weight, right?
Yeah.
And ever since seeing that, like I was always disappointed whenever I saw boxes just fall straight down.
Oh. There was $5 from EB Chill too. Thank you. What?
That was almost potentially a really bad accidental jump off the ledge.
But EB Chill 2 says, No Sun to Worship released on consoles finally this week. A really cool game that plays well on Switch. Highly recommended.
Interesting.
No Sun to Worship. Let's see what it looks like. It's not what I was expecting.
Does it look like? Does it not
looks
look like
dark and
Tale of the
gritty.
Sun?
It does not look like Tale of the Sun, which is kind of what I was expecting. But no, it looks real dark and gritty.
Was it only on PC?
Oh, but it's
previously?
also like looks PS1-esque, but in HD. It looks pretty cool,
Interesting.
actually.
Man,
It does look really neat. Yeah,
Speaking of,
it's funny. I have the subtitles on, like the closed captions and stuff,
yeah.
and I just like skip to the middle of it, and it just the closed captions say. It starts off and it just says Xbox sound when it shows the logo. And then it just says music, period. Just like in the closed captions.
You know, speaking of,
I just like the Xbox sound. It's like closed captions says Xbox sound. Like, all right, oh, wait. I guess.
Speaking of, oh man, how? I should definitely get rid of
I
that.
saw that Kaylee Gamer says, I'm surprised the GameSack didn't mention Sega Rally PS2 in this latest M2 video. It was nice to see through a light on our work. Yeah. I mean, he like asked if he could use that. I was like, yeah. I love the fact that all that stuff that we shot can find like a second life
Yeah.
or something like that.
I mean, we use random shots.
Yeah, when it's relevant, but
Yeah.
I mean, not related to M2, you know?
Right.
It makes me happy when things that we shot like that can be used for stuff.
Can I get up there? But you know, you were talking about, you know, that indie game you were looking at that YouTube video on. I saw how
It looks like almost Splinter Cell and Metal Gear Solid-esque.
yeah.
Yeah. It
But
looks
anyway-
like a PS1 version of Splinter Cell in a way.
How?
But the character looks kind of like Black Noir from The Boys. The show The Boys.
But anyway, there was yesterday, like this isn't anything I like have any familiarity with or attachment to, but someone in the Discord yesterday posted a video that was about this indie game that was canceled. That was a sequel to, I've heard the name but don't know anything about it, Hypnospace Outlaw.
Okay, this sounds slightly familiar.
Yeah,
but
that name is familiar, but there was, I don't remember what the title of the game that was in it, progress was. Like a lot of people were seemingly really excited about it. And it was, you know, I don't know why I watched the video because I have no attachment to it, but it was just like, oh, it was profoundly depressing. Like the developer said it was like, you know, this mutual decision between like himself and the publisher. And it was just,
Oh, is this the? Okay,
and
but
it
the
was just-
Kickstarter was recently canceled, right? Is that it?
oh, I don't. I mean, this was like news yesterday.
Okay.
This was news just yesterday. But I mean, you know, it was just really depressing. I mean, you got the vibe he wasn't really taking it well, but like it was, you know, he said it was because like it was the first time he had like ever like tried to make a game like with a set budget, with a set like design document, and like it's just like his creative process is just like incompatible with that. You know, he was just saying that he, you know, just like one thing leads to another thing, and it's just like I can't just have this like, here's the game we are making, and like it wasn't possible to make a game his way on like a set budget, you know?
Right.
And I think that he realized he couldn't move forward working under those conditions. So the game is canceled. But obviously he was like very, upset about the outcome.
It's
But
not something they could get crowdfunded.
Well,
Maybe it will.
I don't know, but it was just it was just a really depressing video to watch. I wish I hadn't watched it because it's like, well, I don't have any attachment to this thing anyway, but now I'm sad.
Yeah. Dang. It does sound pretty sad. I feel like that's not what I was thinking about. Like it was it's not the game that I was thinking of. Maybe it was.
I think it was like something that was like, I think it was like one of those, I could be wrong here, but I got the impression from like the types of features he was saying, like, were some of the stumbling blocks that just like weren't really feasible to implement with like the way that he like his creative process and how it clashed with the idea of like working with a budget and having to like, work with these, these other people like within this budget. I think it was like one of those things that's kind of like maybe like a web browser or like retro, like like operating system type interface sort of concept.
Yeah.
I think
I see people saying it's better to play it on a PC than it is like on a console.
That was the impression I got of the kind of game it is, but I didn't actually like look up anything beyond this one very sad video.
There was $5 from Steve.
Oh,
thank you. Saying, would you guys come to Portland Retro Gaming Expo if they invited you? I suggest you guys to them every year. Would love to see you all there. I mean, absolutely. If they invited us and covered the hotel and flight, yeah.
I can't remember
flying there is like it's pricey. I think that we were invited once, but they're like, that's it. Like that's like they wouldn't cover anything, and it's like, oh, it's like
I can't remember who it was that told me this, but someone told me that like, you have to like you have to like submit.
Yeah.
To
like you have to submit saying like, please invite me.
Right. Basically, you basically have to like submit the.
Yeah.
So like they're not going just like. I guess the competition is so much that like, so if you want to go, you need to. So maybe we should do that sometime.
Yeah.
But I don't. It would. If they couldn't like pay for our travel, that would be challenging.
Yeah, it gets, that would be real expensive.
I love that dance he does when he gets the sword back.
You got to in the chat is asking if we have any thoughts on the Switch 2 Pro controller. I recently picked one up and it's unbelievably smooth on the sticks and super comfortable. I've been spending a lot of time with it for this thing that we're working on, and I think it's very good. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's astoundingly good. The sticks are just unlike
and I think the
anything
D-pad's really good.
So this is an interesting point, and we're almost like wondering like, could there be D-pad differences, because you and I have had very different Contra experiences.
Yeah.
We've been testing Contra. I played Contra. So Coury is like, I am not having like you beat Contra like, you hadn't actually played through the whole game in a few years. And you just like beat it like without using a continue.
Without having to use a continue.
And so
using the Pro controller too and the D-pad, and no, I never started running when I was ducking or anything like that. I thought it was great. I thought I had zero problems with it.
Yeah. So
and another thing I always try to do is, like, you go ahead. Sorry.
well, I was just saying, like I like had done the testing in Contra. Like I was like, oh, I'm seeing some potential issues here, but I hadn't like tried to really play it for real.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I will this afternoon play Contra and see like how it does in practice. And, you know, in the base levels, as I'm like ducking, like you can definitely see in the footage I record, like I do like a little jig a little bit as I'm trying to in one direction or the other as I'm ducking. But the real telltale thing that frustrated me was the gunners. They're like behind those like gunny, the manned gunner stations there in the snowfield and the energy zone. Like I would say like 40% of the time when I was approaching those and then ducking quickly, because like you want to react quick as soon as you see one, like you want to duck almost immediately. And I was like ducked but facing the wrong way, like
yeah. See, that never happened
like
to me
almost
once.
half the time. And then I died and I ran out of continues in the energy zone. So then I synced my NES Joy-Con and started again. And I didn't beat it again. You know, I got to the end of the second to last level. But my mistakes though, I feel were just like good old fashioned bad playing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what mine were.
And I did not have any issues with the gunners. Like even after like I immediately recognized that problem with the gunners, I was like, oh, like I need to be careful about this. And I still like did it. Like it still kept happening. And it never happened once with the NES Joy-Con. But then like, then I like put it on 2-player mode and I'm like going back, on the beginning of level 1, I'm like going back and forth between the NES controller and the Pro controller. And I'm like, I don't understand now that I think about, like, I don't understand why this is happening, but I'm absolutely like not making the ducking mistakes with the NES controller that I am with the Pro controller for whatever reason. But then I played like, the first 2 sections of Tetris Effect, which is like the first 7 levels.
Yeah.
And I had zero problems in Tetris. Like it was perfect. So I guess the thing to say is like, it's probably good for most things in a pinch, but like your mileage on something where like aiming is so sensitive, like Contra, like your mileage may vary. Like you're having a great time with it, but I'm like definitely having problems.
Yeah. And it does make me wonder if, these were being made for a long time and there's, maybe they improved the quality if they're,
there could be a Pro controller lottery.
For months. Yeah. But I mean, I had no issues. I tried like a lot of other stuff. I tried Tetris Effect. I tried Iron Meat.
That's a great game.
I tried what is it? Tanuki. What is it? Tanuki
Justice.
Tanuki Justice. Yeah.
Does that game have 8-way aiming though?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't have that.
I don't know. I don't know if it was just me or what it like. So I definitely
too bad,
used
like
the
I can't
original
like
Pro
use your
controller
controller
more, and I don't know if that like changed the way that I play to like accommodate, because I definitely use that controller a lot, but just playing Contra and trying to just play it normally without even thinking about adjusting.
Wait, use what controller more?
I definitely use the Pro controller a lot.
Well, I kind of thought you didn't, because I thought you were like all about like the 8-bit Ultimate or whatever.
No, I mean I've unfortunately like barely used it. In a while.
I use the Pro controller all the time, But not for like 2D games. Like I almost always use the Super Nintendo game for Super Nintendo controller for 2D games. Or like maybe a Sega controller if appropriate, but like the Super Nintendo is just like the most broadly compatible, right?
Right. But just in my situation, I thought that it worked out great. I don't know if that's just I don't know what that means.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not used to like reaching like down at that angle for like D-pad heavy games, right? But
yeah,
like I played through all of Hardcore Uprising with the Series X D-pad, and I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't know. There's a slight pivot to the D-pad on the Pro Controller too.
Yeah, it's got a pivot, but it seems like it's a lot easier to make a diagonal press than a
What used to happen to me on Contra, especially on level 2 and 4, is I used to just like running back and forth. I would constantly just like hit the electric beams and get shocked, just running back and forth, and like that happened 0 times. And the 2 times, like, so I played it once yesterday, and that's when I played through most of the game, and then I did it again today so I could record the controller and the like the game footage so I could sync them up. And I didn't make it as far, but that was just because I just didn't play as good.
right.
So I got plenty of that stuff. Like, I got it on tape. I got it in 5.7K. So that's all I can say. It's like that is my experience with it. I don't know if it's going to be true for everybody, but I do wonder if it's going to turn out to be something where it's a different result based on controller.
Yeah, I wish it were like practical for me to try your controller. You know?
Yeah.
And like see if what the heck? I actually am playing Contra better with your controller.
Yeah. So it'll definitely be a middle ground type thing. Well, I talk about both of our experiences and say, like, I hope it's not a build thing.
Yeah.
Or the build's improved
but
over time.
You should mention,
or
though,
it got worse over time.
You should mention, though, that like Tetris was completely fine, because that's like another game people like are really picky about D-pads in. So like say like I had a great experience with Tetris, and it's like it's totally good for like just navigating the Switch to menu and making like selections and like menus in games. But yeah, it's I don't quite know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be a problem for most things, but I would absolutely mostly be inclined to choose a different controller for most 2D games. Like even still, like I don't want to play like a game with the D-pad and like the off angle, you know? Like ideally, like I've done it on Xbox, but
Hey, I just got an email that says that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is now available on Prime Video. You can I think you have Prime Video, right?
Yeah, I do. Is it free though, or is it a rental?
No, it's free. It came out on as a rental in January, probably.
Oh, okay. I should watch that. I thought the first two were pretty darn fun.
Yeah. Nana Cheesecake has been a member for 31 months in a row, saying it's heckin' windy in this game. Happy Sunday. Windy or Wimdy?
I don't
So
know if windy is a thing.
Yeah.
All right, looks like I'm actually successfully going to be able to make it to Dragon Roost Island. Early in the stream, I was like, you know, I can remember how long some of the early stuff takes in this game. So I am happy to see that I've been able to, you know, that the island, like Windfall Island, like kind of fading out, like it doesn't look that bad in HD. Like, well, they did just do like a level of detail change there, but the effect still mostly works. But see, this is a little harder to do. But this is like, I did this so much playing the game. Is like I just like soaked in this epic music and just did like slow pans around the boat. Like, oh man, this is the stuff.
Yeah, I wish I liked it. I enjoyed it more at the time. I don't know.
I just think like the vibes of sailing and just is great in this game. Like, I understand why a lot of people thought it was boring. I understand, but man, I completely forgot about yellow rupees. Like, how many other games are yellow rupees even in?
Is that like 100?
I guess they're 10.
Really?
Yeah, because green is one.
There's only green, blue, and red, right? You know,
normally, yeah.
And purple. Purple ones are 100,
Purple's
right?
50, but they're rarely dropped, though. They're usually found in, like, in a chest. Like, silver is 200, I think. But those are almost always found in chests. Like, the normal, like, just dropped rupees tend to be, the normal dropped rupees tend to be green, blue, and red. Although it's different in Zelda 1. I think red is a single rupee. I don't remember exactly what it is in Zelda 1, but it's different in Zelda 1.
So I told you about how we had friends over yesterday that were like teaching my son and I how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It took us several hours to make our characters. But then it ended up, you know, being pretty fun. But we're going to continue. I think we're playing with the same group.
Oh, I did it the wrong way because of... See, that's where they get you.
Oh, no.
That's where they get you.
Now they got you. Yeah. That stinks. That like screws everything up, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's probably wisest to actually get used to the controls.
Yeah.
But you could also get used to
it's a deal breaker for me. I'll just wait for the HD version at that point.
Yeah, just play it on Wii U. You know, the Wii U version is actually 1080p.
Yeah. Well, you know, Shinjan was saying earlier in the stream, one of the reasons it probably never came out on the Switch 1 is like it would probably run exactly the same. And they wanted to wait for the Switch 2 because now it can be like 4K.
Right. I mean, most of the games that they brought from Wii U to Switch were actually like, at the very least, were like 720p to 1080p, you know?
Right.
They at least had some kind of advantage. But yeah, I didn't really think about that. Like, it would probably be like absolutely no different. And, you know, I know a lot of people would say, well, but we just want it to be accessible. We just want it. We want it on the system that we play. But I don't think that's how game creators think. Like they think in terms of like we have to like something new has to be offered here.
Yeah.
And if we're not going to offer anything new, then it's going to have to just be like something like this, where it's just like, here is like the app where we offer the games as is, you know?
Yeah.
Although it would be nice if, hopefully they will adjust the control stick sensitivity.
They just need to fix it.
Yeah. It's definitely not ideal. So don't forget to mention that in your script. It's a little too sensitive. You can demonstrate it very easily with F-Zero GX.
Yeah, well, I mean, I show it, and I mean, I guess I could demonstrate it in the calibration screen you were talking about. I didn't realize that was in there. But yeah, doing D&D stuff was fun, you know. It took the kids that were present a little bit of time to kind of not want to do things that are goofy, you know, that are like, oh, I want to do something funny here. Instead, you got to just, you know, put yourself in that moment.
Yeah.
And think of like how your character would think. So I'm looking forward to it. Like it definitely took a while. Is it going to be like an
ongoing thing? Like you're going to finish the campaign?
Yeah. So I think 3 weeks is like we get together like every 3 weeks or something like that.
So was it one of like the adults that was like kind of in charge?
Yeah.
Were you the only other adult or?
No, there's one other adult. I mean, there was 3 adults and 3 kids. So it was fun. It was fun, and I could see, you know, like how it could be a lot of fun, you know, just to do this with friends, especially once everybody kind of knows how to play, and you just get together and you make a story, you know, or you play through a story, but you know, you have fun at the same time. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
I see uncommented code say how many Wii U games are 1080p. It kind of makes me wish John would do a 1080p dream video for Wii U. See how many P's would Wind Waker earn? I wonder. Out of 1,080 P's, I bet it might only earn about, you know, maybe 960 Ps because it's, you know, not 60 FPS.
Yeah. I mean, is he going to do like a 60 FPS dream for the N64?
Now, come on.
Like that would be a good April Fool's Day.
the 30 FPS dream for N64.
Yeah. But in addition to trying Dungeons and Dragons for the first time, I am borrowing a guitar from my neighbor, and I've started learning.
Had you like even had any tiny beginnings of learning ever in your life?
No.
Oh wow!
It's just an acoustic guitar, and I'll tell you, my fingers they are hurting.
Yeah.
Apparently, it takes between 2 to 4 weeks to develop calluses.
Ooh.
So we'll see how it goes.
Maybe that's why
There's online resources.
Maybe that's why you're playing Contra so good on the Pro controller.
But I don't use my thumb. It's my my pointer, middle, and what's the index finger?
See, I don't even know that.
Yeah. But you know, there's online resources, and it's just there's this one person that does like 10 minutes a day for 10 days, and I think that I'm gonna like do one 10-minute video a week. just so I can like, you know, like learn the chords and like learn to go between them, because, you know, like I just like have learned two, and I'm trying to go back and forth between. And I would like to be able to do it without looking, but I'm constantly like checking to see where my fingers are. And I see Q46 is saying that acoustic is way harder on the hands than electric. Yeah, I didn't realize that was the case until, you know, I did some research yesterday. It's like, oh, the acoustic guitar strings are a lot thicker because they have to do a lot more work. And the guitar that I'm using is that I borrowed is a 3/4 size guitar, so it's like, you know, it's a little bit smaller, but I can. Is there any guitar experts in the chat right now? I can tell you what I am, what I'm using to learn. It's a GS-mini. A Taylor GS-mini. That's what I'm borrowing. But it's funny because I was talking about like the guy who was doing the D&D stuff yesterday. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, that was my pandemic project. Is like I learned how to play guitar, like, you know, just during the pandemic. And the thing that he told me to do, and like this sounds like a really good idea, is just have the guitar readily available to you at all times to like grab if you're like waiting at your desk or something like that, waiting for something, that you could just grab it and then, you know, just you will like just like noodle around with it during that time. And he's like, I even got like a little clamp for my desk that I could like hang my guitar on.
Oh.
If I'm just like waiting for like a meeting or like a call, I can just grab it. So it's kind of a neat thing. So I don't know, like it's just one of those things that I feel like it's easy to think like, oh, I'm too old to do something like this, but I'm not. But the thing that kind of pushed me over the edge to wanting to do this, like you remember how a couple of years ago I did the improv stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's much in that same way where like apparently there's a movie called School of Rock, and there's a real School of Rock where you can go and like, it's like you can go there and learn, right? And everything that I'd heard about before is that, you know, it's just like for kids. Kids can go there to learn how to play. But I just found out from my neighbor who I'm borrowing the guitar from that there is an adult section also. And what you do is you go and you sign up, and all the people in a class like learn to play songs, and then they play a show, like live, like at a venue. And I was like, man, that sounds really, really fun. Like I can't imagine going from knowing nothing to doing that. So I'm like, I want to be able to kind of like learn on my own for a bit. So I feel like I can start taking lessons and then do something like that. It's just, you know, you go and you play a show in front of people. And it's like the shows have a theme.
Do you feel
like that's just...
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's all right.
I was just saying,
what?
do you feel that your improv class like has helped you do better at like little things like your guest bit on GameSack today? Things like
Maybe.
That?
I mean, it feels like it was so long ago, and I think that there's certain lessons that I learned from it that for some reason I can only do in GameStack episodes. I can't do it all like anything else. I don't know. There's something about the assignments that Joe gives me that makes me want to act a bit, I guess. but you know, like I think that that's like I just think that that sounds fun, and I think that I'm going to learn as much as I can until like the next bit, like the next sign up is. How's the creative expository writing going? So I've not done very much in the workbook portions, but I've been staying on top of like doing the like the morning pages, you know, where you write 3 front and back pages. I don't know if I don't do it every day, but I do it more days out of the week than I don't, and I think that's good. Oh, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know if I have. I will. I don't know if I like. I'm ready to do like an open mic thing. If I have a friend who sings, but maybe that's something. Like, if I get into it, like I could definitely see myself just getting involved in it. You know, like I think that it's fun. I think it's fun, and the idea of having a goal, like playing at a show, and having other people like rely on you, but also having their support too, just sounds like really fulfilling. So that's what's happening with me. It's like I'm just like doing lots of new things, I guess, in that respect. So we'll see. I mean, I don't want my fingers to hurt though so bad.
Whoops.
Yeah, I thought about the Guitar Smith things. I don't have an electric guitar to be able to do that with, but you know, we'll see. The guitar that I'm using is really nice. You know, it makes me a little nervous that it's not mine. But I should probably go and look at a thrift shop if I can find something for that for like, you know, like a decent price, and I would absolutely get that. Yeah, learning new skills keeps the mind sharp, and I think that that's how I need to think of it. Yeah, I don't have any desire to sing. I don't think I have a singing voice at all. I do like doing karaoke, but like only in groups that of friends, like in a closed room that I feel okay, just like kind of like letting go like that. I would never do karaoke in front of like a bar full of strangers. I'd rather do it in a private room where it's just like, all right, we can all sing these songs together. Yeah, I understand. Like thrift shop guitars might not be the greatest, but if I mean, for at the point that I'm at right now, I think that's okay. I'm gonna keep on using this one and just, you know, doing it every day. You know, like I will try to play and practice at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. I think I can absolutely do that. And even it doesn't even all have to be at once. It could be throughout the day. Yeah, I mean, I look on Facebook Marketplace. I put some notifications in the Facebook Marketplace if there's anything. Like if I wanted to see if I could find a used one of what I'm currently using. That is something that I just put it in there, and if something shows up for a good price, I would absolutely get the exact one that I'm using, even though it does feel like really tight. Like what I'm using, or what I've have learned so far is like A major and E major, and is the A is like it's so close. And my friend who I was talking to about earlier, who said that like they learned during the pandemic, and they're like, oh, you know, you can use like 1 or 2 fingers just to like put across like 3 of those strings. And I'm like, yeah, but I kind of want to just learn how to do it for real before I can figure out ways that I can cheat it. You know, you want to learn the proper way to figure out how you can cheat it afterwards. So that's yeah, I mean, it's just it's really tough to go from E to A because it's just like it's so close. And I almost wonder if it being a 3/4 sized guitar is making that tougher or not. Oh, there's $2 from Dad1153. Thank you. Saying, will Coury serenade us when he gets good enough? I don't know. I'll definitely, like, if I ever got good enough, I would play it on stream, but I don't think I'll be singing any songs for you.
I can't quite picture it. Gotta be honest.
I know. Well, I mean, I'm just.
No offense meant. I mean, I just, you know, you shouldn't be able to imagine me either.
Okay, so that's a bar or whatever is like is an A, like the bar, is that, it's bar, right? BARRE. Is, like, I've seen people talk about that one being that it's like bars are really tough. I don't know what that means exactly. I just, a bar guitar is a full-size one. Okay. So that's a little song I like to call the 30 FPS dream. Wouldn't it be really funny if that's what I sang about? Is frame rates in games and
you know what's something
CRT filters.
Yeah, I mean, I would be way into it, you know. You know, something that something that I bet you could already play right now. I'm sure some people in the chat will remember this. On Animaniacs, there was like a little skit about a 2-note song. And like the whole thing was like, you know, he was like the psychologist was arguing with the Warners, you know, that like this is not a song. It's only got 2 notes. But it went dun da 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 da, and it was like actually pretty catchy. And me and my friends used to like play that with like the numbers on the phone.
Oh, that's fun.
It's like do 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 do. It was great.
What was like the tone of it? It's just like the tone phone, but like, do you remember before, like just having the tone, like they had like the pulse where like you press the button and go boop, boop, boop.
Oh, it was like this like scratchy kind of like.
Well, it like do a quick like beep the amount of times as the number you press.
Oh no. I've definitely had phones that were like almost like I don't know, it almost sounded like they were wheezing or something. Like Oh, AP Chill heard 3 notes. Well, you know, it's been a long time since I heard the 2-note song, and I have a really hard time distinguishing notes just in general. So, like it always blew my mind. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but you know, Enchilada, who donated earlier, you know, when we were, you know, like middle schoolers, we lived near each other. And I remember he showed me how to do like the Mario intro, you know, da 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 on the piano, and like the Final Fantasy battle intro, you know, the da 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 da, and it just blew my mind that how easy both of those are, and like especially the Final Fantasy da 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 da. It's two notes, those notes could have been just all over. Like that could have been 5 different notes for all I know. Like, cause I just don't process music that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's like I can recognize music, but like I just like tones are just really hard for me to like distinguish. Like if you were to go do it, like it asks me, okay, is one higher, is one lower, are they the same? And I just be like, I don't know.
No, I mean,
like
you might surprise yourself sometime.
Well, but the thing is, I have to think about it. Like I have to think about it in a way that I'm pretty sure most people don't.
Well, I just want to say, Joshua Willemy, thank you. And what I might do is go to a thrift shop and try out like a full-sized, just to see how it feels. But I think that for what I'm doing right now, like a 3/4 is all right. It is very, very cramped, but maybe that's like a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing for me to learn.
I mean, you know, I'm sure there's like a character to like bad guitars that some people kind of like.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this is considered like a really good guitar. I mean, based on what I've seen people say about it and stuff, I think that it's generally considered to be like a very good guitar. And I asked my neighbor about it. I said, you know, it feels really small. And she's like, you know, I have full-size friends, like tall friends that have one and love it. So I just think it's just about practicing and learning it. You know, I'll try out different things like as I do it more. So full-size friends. Like she's like a tall friend. I have tall friends that
Full-size friend.
Full-size friends. I was paraphrasing, you know. It's just...
I do enjoy the idea of that turn of phrase.
Yeah. So another thing I can mention that, so I was in Akron for work Monday and Tuesday, and I met up with our good friend the 8-Bit Duke, and he was talking about how he goes to the Ren Fair that's like really close to me, like several times, like during the fall. And then I was like, I've never been before. And I was like, I wonder if my kids would really like that. And he's like, oh, dude, you should definitely take them. And I know that you've been a few times.
Yeah. My college roommate likes to go, so usually do that in the fall.
Yeah, and you don't have to get dressed up for it. You just go. And...
No. I usually just wear like a Triforce shirt or something, you know, just some kind of like the Hyrule. I have like a couple of Zelda shirts, you know. I'll wear something like that usually. Like the one thing I always buy is the Final Fantasy. Like they've got like this like map booth, and they've got like, you know, like real maps, but also like maps from popular fiction, so they'll have like
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones or whatever. But they've also got video games, they've got like, Dragon Age and stuff like that. And, the ones that I like to get are Final Fantasy. They've got like a Super Mario World. Like I'm like basically like out. Like I think I have bought like all, like I usually get like 2 a year. And I think I've bought like all the Final Fantasy maps that they sell. Unfortunately, they don't have 1, 2, 3, or 5. They don't have 1, 2, 3, 5, 13, 15, or 16. Unless that changes this year. Although a lot of those I wouldn't buy a map for, but I would totally buy a map for 1, 2, 3, and 5. I would not buy a map for 15.
Well, I think it'll be a fun thing to take the kids to do, especially if
Or 11.
if my son really takes to like doing this D&D stuff, like that becomes like almost a real life version of that to kind of just go and be in,
I like that the term for getting up against the wall is spelled out there. It's sidle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such
This is like literally where I learned the existence of that word.
I mean, like I knew what it was, but it's just like that's just a word that you don't ever think about. Like it's like, yeah, what else do you call that?
I mean, I would call it like shimmying.
Yeah, I guess. I always remember Strong Bad was saying about how video games are educational because if it weren't for video games, he wouldn't know that strafe means walk sideways whilst shooting. I'm pretty sure shooting has nothing to do with that, but like I've literally never heard the word I don't know actually. Like why don't you look up on like dictionary.com or whatever like what strafing is? Because I've never heard strafing used outside the context of video games. Like never. That I mean that I can recall anyway.
If I go to according to the dictionary, it says attack repeatedly with bombs or machine gun fire from low-flying aircraft.
What? That doesn't sound like how it's used in video games at all.
Strafe, an attack from low-flying aircraft.
Huh. Okay.
See what this says here. Yeah, I mean, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says to rake ground troops and airfield, etc., with fire at close range, especially with machine gun fire from low-flying aircraft.
It doesn't sound at all like strafing in video games.
Well, but speaking of low-flying aircraft, on Friday, we picked my kids up from their grandparents, and we went to the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. Has anybody in the chat ever been to the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio?
Is it as good as the Aviation Museum in Long Island, where the Long Island Retrode
Yeah, it's like actually like a lot bigger.
Yeah.
it's like several hangars connected, and there's just like full on like bombers and everything in there. It's not just, you know, like a F-14 Tomcat in there and like one other one. There's like several in there, and it was actually insane. I was not expecting it to be there. There's missiles in there. There was a hydrogen bomb in there. There's like a full-on space shuttle in there. It was interesting though. So, like this now it's like opening up these like things that we talked about. It was very interesting going into the space shuttle and stuff. It was a decommissioned hydrogen bomb, yeah. But going inside the space shuttle and stuff, it was very interesting because, you know, we started talking about the Challenger explosion. And that happened in '86, so you like were too young to remember that.
I remember the one in the early 2000s when I was in college, though. Like, why?
Right.
I don't remember what type of ship that was. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I do, and I don't remember
what it was like 2002
or
something like that. I think it was like this. I don't know if it's the same kind of thing or not.
I think the Columbia, yes. Okay. But it was just very interesting talking to my kids about it because it's just one of those moments in time where you can like remember exactly where you were. Because, I mean, I was in 2nd grade when it happened. My wife was in 3rd grade, but we were talking about that. I think that every single classroom across the United States like watched it happen live.
Wow.
Because it was such a big deal that like a teacher was going into space, so they like showed it in schools. Like that's when they wheeled out the TV.
You were watching it like not because something went wrong, but like you were watching
No, we watched it happen live.
Like you watched it happen because you thought this was going to be a great success.
Yeah, like everybody thought it was going to be this great success, and kids were watching it at school because there was a school teacher on.
Right. Well, I can understand.
So,
I can understand why people would remember it because, I'd never like really considered that. Like that's like traumatizing.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, like as 2nd grader, we were kind of like, what happened? You know, and I just remember that. I remember that like the teacher like, I don't know if we like even talked about it afterwards. It was kind of like shocking, and. I don't recall, like, I remember being there and seeing it happen, but I don't think that I understood it until later on. Like, maybe the next day we talked about it or something like that.
Yeah.
But just thinking about every single school in the United States basically watching this happen live
that's horrifying.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of... I don't know, it's probably one of like less than 5 events in my life that I can remember experiencing it, you know? So, I mean, it's just kind of crazy. It was very crazy, like talking about it. And then, you know, like it's on, like the live broadcast is like on YouTube and you can watch it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I showed my kids that because why not, right? Because it's like this thing, and I there's like so much buildup to it actually happening. You know, it's like because it's flying for a while before it happens. But it was just, I don't know, it's just very. It's just, I don't know, it's just interesting. I mean,
I've probably never watched it because it's the kind of thing I wouldn't think about really, you know, because
right, because it's like after
I was way too young.
I mean,
I was 2.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not something that is even in your headspace at all. But you should ask your parents about it sometime. if they remember it happening and if they saw it
Yeah.
or watched
Yeah.
it happen. Yeah, I mean, like everyone, like, you know, remembers where they were for 9/11, of course.
Yeah.
And like, I guess the only other one I can think of is I remember where I was when I heard that Kurt Cobain died. A musician, a very important musician.
I feel like I have a vague memory of
That name.
well yeah, my knowledge of that name would be fairly vague. But my I for some reason remember my sixth grade teacher listening to like when like OJ was like when the
Oh yeah.
when
I totally remember OJ. You know,
like I when the it was when like the when he I guess when they said he was like not guilty or whatever. Like
oh okay. I remember when he was like on the run in the Bronco. Because that was I remember I just got back from renting Virtua Racing. Of all things, right?
I remember that that a little bit. But
yeah, like the verdict.
Yeah, stuff, like for some reason I don't remember the context. Like it seems really weird thinking about it, but like I remember my sixth grade teacher like I feel like it was like all like I almost want to say it was like a half day of school or I feel like there was something weird about like the context. It was like a weird day at school. Like it might have only been like a half day or something. I don't remember, but like I feel like we were doing a quiz, but I remember she had like the radio on during that. I don't remember it clearly, but like, well, even if I don't remember it clearly, like I remember that's like an event where like I remember where I was. I was like in my sixth grade classroom.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I see like someone, Q46 is saying, I remember our teacher turned on the OJ verdict in class, pulled in the TV cart and everything.
Wow.
So not just listening to it on the. So I need to make sure, like I'm pretty sure that OJ, like the OJ in the Bronco was when I rented Virtua Racing. But there's a chance in my mind that it might be when I rented Splatterhouse 2 instead. But I'm pretty sure that it was Virtua Racing. So I need to look these up. So that was August 92. OJ Bronco chase date. Oh wait, is published in arcade? Oh no, it's no. Okay, so Genesis. Was 94. I didn't see if this was like a retro. What's it? Let's see here. 694. And the Bronco chase was June 17th. So literally, so it was.
Splatterhouse.
No, it's Virtua Racing. It was as I thought it was. Yeah, I mean, it's saying 694. So if it would make sense, it's probably a number of days before that happened. funny to think about that, you know, like those moments. I don't remember it completely, but I do remember seeing it on TV as it happened, or like immediately after it, when there was that big earthquake in San Francisco, and part of like one of the like levels of the Golden Gate Bridge like fell or like broke and like was on the lower level. I remember seeing that.
Man, oh man,
I can't relate that to any
not
any
doing
video
great
games, I don't
here.
think.
There we go. My clearest memory of the Golden Gate Bridge is how X-Men 3 was, that scene from X-Men 3 was just like on every TV in Best Buy with motion interpolation on for like what felt like a decade. Like that was, it just felt like a decade. Like that was like the movie that was running on TVs at Best Buy. It was probably not a decade, but it felt like a really long time. And motion like that, like I can't envision that scene without motion interpolation because it was just always on demo TVs.
Dang. I watched that movie once and never thought about it again.
I mean, that movie's not great anyway, but
no, it's like it's far from not that great. I
don't hate X-Men 3, but it's not great.
Oh, you don't hate it? I mean, after the first two,
I don't actively.
It's such a.
I don't actively.
It was real bad after those.
I don't actively hate it.
Oh. Well, you have a lot of restraint then, because I actively disliked it.
I
and still think it's really bad. I you know, it's one of those situations where I just like have never been able to watch it again. You know, like I just saw that first time. I don't think I even went to the theater after I heard that it was not good, and then I watched it once and was never able to watch it again. And I mean, that's the same thing. Like I was talking about it a few weeks ago about the second Crow movie. It was just like, it was so bad that I could not bring myself to watch it again.
But you rewatched it recently and you said it was like,
it's like worse than I remember it
but
being.
But like in maybe a funny way.
In a like, I can't believe how bad this is way. Like it's not even, I don't know. It's like a he acts like a Looney Tune character. I don't know. It's like it was so bad. And oh, did you just get that?
I just got the grappling hook. Yep.
Do they swap that out later on with like the hook shot or anything?
There is a hook shot, which I always thought was kind of disappointing. Because it's like, oh, you didn't come up with like another item other than like two things that are like kind of the same.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny. And I don't remember exactly what they called it in the messenger, but they were like, well, what does it matter? Everyone's going to call it the grappling hook anyway.
Yeah. Oh, Joseph Childs. Like I totally remember seeing Highlander 2 in the theater, and I was, even being like as young as I was, I just could not believe what I was seeing. When did that come out? It came out in 91. So, I mean, I was, what, 12? 13, almost. Well, I guess I would have been in 7th grade. I'm going into 7th grade. What are those butterfly amulets?
They're like a collectible. You can steal things from enemies with the grappling hook. They might just drop on their own sometimes, but like you can definitely get more. Like look,
Is
look
this
at
the first like real dungeon?
Yes.
Or is like
this is like the first.
Yeah.
This is a real dungeon. But like, is it like kind of neat some of the stuff like this, like cutting the ropes?
Yeah, it's
Like it. Oops.
you don't know that you're supposed to do it, right?
I don't remember. I've barely been paying attention to like the dialogue and stuff. I'm actually pretty impressed that I've managed. Oh well, I just saw like my little telepathic stone thing that I can talk with the King of Red Lions. See, he dropped the butterfly, but you can get them more reliably if you use the grappling hook. Or actually, can you use this to just burn it instead? I mean, there's a lot of like kind of like little systemic things like that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like look at that. Like, see, I can do that. Like, it's definitely like this kind of stuff was not in the N64 games.
Right. It's like physics based type stuff.
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah. Or I mean, it makes it feel like it's being held together by real stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly. There's a
like
lot.
That feels like it's not just polygons.
There
look like
is
rope.
a physics system of a type.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I kind of like forgot about a lot of stuff like picking up enemy weapons and things like that. Like there's actually a lot. There's a lot of neat systems in this game that feel pretty advanced for the time I would have to say.
But I missed it. Did anybody say that they had been to the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio? There's I saw like was it like the World War I bomber? I think is it like the Memphis Belle is there, or is it World War II? One or the other. I don't remember if it was in the World War I or World War II section. It's just like there's so many planes in there, though. I was amazed, and it kind of takes you through that history, and it's amazing how quickly, like the technology evolved from basically like what the Wright brothers were doing to like planes flying in a war.
Mm.
And I mean, it's just crazy how fast, like it all happened like within 20 years, which is insane, you know,
That
just
is
like
insane.
how fast like that was discovered and, you know, like, and it worked for the most part, you know?
That's
And
this game we're playing is less old than that.
Yes, exactly. It's just crazy to think about it like that. And honestly, I almost can't think of anything scarier than being in a plane during like a battle.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anything scarier than
I
that.
mean, I feel like people of that generation probably in general were like people who like saw like flight go from like nothing to something. Like they were probably very wary of it. You know?
Well, yeah, but also
Like because it's like
you know,
just seems like such a newfangled thing, you know? You know,
Yeah.
I thought about this the other day. Like I don't real like I never I only ever remember flying with my parents one time. Like my parents are not big flyers. You know, my dad flew sometimes for work, but like I might have flown with my mom like one or two other times. But I only like remember flying with both of them like once when I was 9, and then like there was another time before I could remember. But they just, there's never really been how we've like traveled for vacation or anything, except but I've done, you know, I've done lots more flying like on my own than, you know, way more on my own than with them. But anyway, I remember you mentioned, like, do you remember like when you would like dress up to fly?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like that seems like something my mom would like be way into. She'll be like, well, they're just gonna think you're nobody if you just go dress like that. You know, that sounds like something my mom would very
you had to like get really dressed up. Yeah. I mean, it's also the same thing as like, remember when, like, I mean, you probably don't remember, but when like people could just like smoke cigarettes on airplanes.
I don't remember. I mean, I remember like I remember people smoking inside like restaurants, of course, but.
Yeah, but I mean, just like the
On a
idea
plane,
of people
no.
just like smoking cigarettes.
That's
What were you
like
watching?
so
I was watching it
wild.
with what's that?
That's like so wild to think about smoking on a plane.
Yeah, and
It's like-
tons of people doing it too. Imagine like being a non-smoker. Like how horrible that would be, though. I mean, you can imagine being a non-smoker because you are a non-smoker.
Yeah,
but I mean,
but,
imagine like being a non-smoker and being in an airplane where most people around you are smoking cigarettes in this closed area.
I mean, most people
with,
were
with zero
probably
ventilation.
like most people were probably used to cigarette smoke back then, though, because it was just,
Right.
like everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. What was I watching? I watched, my wife and I'd seen it several times and I really like it, but she had not seen it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's very good. I really like it, and the more times I watch it, like I feel like I like it more and more.
The only thing I know about that movie is the gif of like Leonardo
Oh,
DiCaprio
the
on
pointing,
the couch
yeah,
going
yeah.
like, oh, that is me.
Yep. Yeah, it's really it's on my booty. You should watch it sometime. It's I really like it. You know, like all of his movies. You know, he has like interesting like conversations, I guess.
Yeah. You always feel like someone's going. I don't know if that movie's the same way, but you always feel like someone is like definitely dying or getting like horribly hurt at the end of a conversation in his movie. Like they're tense because
in the most
because,
like explicitly like violent way.
Yes.
Also.
But like the conversations just like feel very normal, but there's just like this underlying tension.
Yes. Well, I mean that's like Inglourious Basterds. Like that's
like what makes that
was.
movie. Yeah.
But then, you know, like, and much like that, this kind of takes a real world event and puts like fictional characters into those real world events that like change history.
Right.
So that's how Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is also.
Oh, okay.
And when you know the reality of it, just like Inglourious Basterds, it's very cathartic when when the people who in reality like did something horrible, like instead get that done to them.
Interesting.
It's very like cathartic in a nice way. It's like imagine if all those people had joints instead. Yeah, I mean, imagine if everyone's just smoking joints on planes. Like nobody would care what happened. I mean, flying would probably be fun then.
It's so funny to think that, you know, to this day, like probably because there's just like so many people who like maybe like they have like not flown since like smoking became illegal on planes, and like this is like some mind-blowing revelation to them, right? But like it's always like in the safety stuff every time is like, oh, like, you know, you can't smoke it, and disassembling or destroying a smoke detector is illegal. It's like who would be doing this stuff? But then again, like like I say, like there might be like some old folks who like just haven't flown on a plane since then, and they're like, what?
I'm sure they have an idea that they're not able to. I think that this is
You
kind of
know,
like a
there
common.
might be some pretty reclusive people out there.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Kamal Zimmer, I like went and saw Sinners in the theater. It was by myself. I just went to see it, and yeah, like the there's some good cathartic violence, kind of like as an afterthought, like that I was not expecting. You know, like after the plot of the movie is kind of played out, then you just like randomly get these like horrible characters from earlier in the movie. Get what they deserve. There's something I wanted to mention on that same thing, but I forgot what it was. I had it in my mind. I was
Surprised
like, I need to-
I've bumbled my way through this dungeon after so many years without like, you know, any real mishaps or anything. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think that like I can have like the first dungeon done, because I mean it's like on the third island you go to. I mean the fourth island that you go to. Like it's, you know, there's a fair bit of buildup getting to this point.
Yeah.
I wish
I'm surprised he got this far. I mean,
put that fairy in a bottle.
and that just comes down from the like a lot of it's the fact that you just played it so many times.
I mean, I've played
over the
it.
years, right?
I've beaten this game at least 4 times, including Wii U. Like
how sad that fairy looks.
Probably 4 or 5 times. Yeah, I don't like how the fairies look in this as much as I like just like the dots, like the little glowing dots with wings.
Yeah.
You don't think about as how horrible it is to put them in a bottle. They make you think about it in this.
Is this Goma?
It is. It's a
I don't know how I know that is. I
different.
remember you talked. I remember in the How to Beat episode.
Oh yeah.
Mentioning Goma.
Yeah, the footage seen in How to Beat the Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD is footage of the last time that I played this far into the game.
Oh, it doesn't show its name.
Oh, it did not. I wasn't even paying attention. To be honest, I should probably watch How to Beat because I don't remember exactly what to do. Ow. I think you wait until its claw goes down and then...
It's amazing, though, that you only have three hearts this far.
I know. Well, yeah, I don't actually know how easily you could get, like, a bunch of heart containers or not. Jeez. How do I...
Something I need
Man,
I wanted to
I-
mention, but I totally forgot what it was.
I'm really drawing a blank on how to do this.
Anyone remember the constant Zelda criticism?
Oh yeah, Zelda.
I mean, you think of that like it was a criticism at the time, but I mean, it's a very apt description and like really would make me want to play it more with that name, right?
Oh, King of Red, man, I'm embarrassed. King of Red Lions, you don't have to give me a tip. I completely forget how to fight this guy. I should watch How to Beat. Is there a way to get up there before you hit him? I don't.
Grappling hook at the dragon's tail.
It's too far away though. I need to get. I know that's like the key.
Grapple the tail above Goma.
Yeah, I know that's the key, but it's too far. Don't I have to get up above? Oh, I can do it from all the way down here. Well, geez. I thought it was too far away. I thought I had to be on the platforms up above. Well, now I feel silly. I knew that was like the key, but I thought there was something I had to do first.
Oh, and it cracks the shell, right?
Yeah. The oversensitive sticks can definitely be a bit of a problem with doing stuff like aiming the grappling hook and things. So I really do hope they fix that, because it definitely dampens the appeal of like using an authentic controller, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're using the authentic controller so that it feels
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so wild. I definitely, I guess the grappling hook has a lot further range than it had in my memory.
Yeah. It has exactly as much range as it needs to have.
To get you all the way to the ceiling here, yeah. Always gonna fire. You know, your fall damage is significantly more forgiving than I remember. Like it's kind of cartoonish in that way.
So a lot of people are talking, like Doyle in the chat is mentioning that the input delay ruins this.
Yeah, see,
I mean, is it like confirmed to be bad? But I mean, I think it's more about the sensitivity of the sticks, right? I mean,
the sensitivity of the sticks is what's throwing me, not input delay. It's just like suddenly you're like moving fast sooner than you expected, you know?
Right.
It's just, it feels a little twitchy in that way. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the input lag is not there, but you know, I'm not the most sensitive to that. I'm more sensitive to other things, I suppose. I mean, let's see. I mean, this is probably not the place to. I mean, you see, it feels like he reacts pretty quickly to like me like tapping the stick.
Oh, you beat it.
Yeah.
You beat Goma. I totally missed you beat it.
I mean, I don't know. The input lag is not drawing attention to itself for me, but. So, well, okay, Shincha says, someone said earlier people on Red did tests, should have no more latency than the original release. I mean, so some of it could just be placebo, maybe.
Cheesemeister saying, did you know that the Wind Waker has been out for over 57% of the time since The Legend of Zelda?
Oh, wow.
I saw a thing earlier today that said, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark was made in 1981, and it takes place in 1936. And if it was made today, it would take place in 1980.
Wow.
Yeah. Still not in your lifetime, but close.
I mean, you know, I remember thinking it seemed so strange just because, like, the 50s seemed like such an incredibly long time ago to me that I remember. I can't remember if it was Robert Zemeckis or like the other guy that was like the other writer on Back to the Future. But like one of them said, I think in like a DVD feature or something, that like some people were like, oh, like the 50s aren't long, like that's not long enough ago to like do like a period piece on or something.
Yeah.
Like to think that people, early 80s when they were pitching this movie, like someone might have thought like, oh, it's too recent. Like that's not very interesting. Going back to the 50s.
At the time, it seemed, I don't know. Yes, there was a lot of people that weren't alive then, I guess. It's not, I don't know. It's not that long, I guess, in between those, when that movie came out and when it takes place. It's just weird. So where do you go to from here now?
I don't remember if there's like clear guidance, but it's the Great Deku Tree is next. Here's
so everyone talks
Beetle.
about the Triforce thing where you gotta fish them out, right? You gotta find them.
It's not that bad. The Triumph Forks.
I mean, it really feels like between this and the artifacts in Metroid Prime.
It was a
they're like which one's worse? I think
Um,
this is worse than the artifacts.
Oh, I need a. Oh wait,
Got 99 cents from Batman Alonzo.
Whoa, cool name,
Thank
Batman Alonzo. I appreciate
I
it.
love it.
It's an amazing name.
But yeah, what would people say is worse?
Probably the Metroid Prime artifact hunt.
Hang on, I'm gonna do a poll in the chat here.
I mean, ultimately, Metroid Prime is the shorter game, so I mean, I guess you could. But like, I really enjoy like talking to finding the fishmen and talking to the fishmen, and the fishmen like give you hints about where they are. Like it's like I feel that Metroid Prime, like there's not like a super compelling reason beyond the fact that you have to do it to like go back to the places where the artifacts are. And here I feel like exploring the islands and the Great Sea is like the meat of the game. Like that's what you want to do. And then you sometimes get, for that exploration, you get the charts that lead you to the Triforce pieces. So I don't think it's that bad.
There's another $1.99 from Batman Alonzo. Thank you. All right, I've never done a poll during a stream before. I don't know if it should have been worst or worse. I said worst, but I had worse in there before. I don't know what it should have been. There's also another $2 from Dad1153.
Why
Thank
can't
you.
I get on the darn boat? What the heck?
Dad1153's favorite GameCube games are Mario Golf, Resident
Oh, I
Evil,
probably have to do this.
Star Fox Assault, and Soul Calibur 2.
Star Fox Assault, interesting. I streamed that several years ago, and I never went back to finish it. Like that first level is awesome, and then I don't know. It kind of feels like it's. I think it started off actually just being a multiplayer game, and then the campaign kind of came later. Resident Evil Remake, that's definitely high up there for favorite GameCube game, I would say. That's very high up there. Wind Waker is up there.
There's another $1.99 from Batman Alonso.
I'm just so happy we get
Batman
to say
Alonso. You can. We just love saying the name.
yeah. It just that brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Batman Alonso. Like, I mean, you know, just like there's like multiple versions of a lot of other superheroes, right? Like you've got you know, multiple versions of like Spider-Man and Ant-Man, like, you know, over the years. Like there's you know, the it gets passed to another generation, right? Like Batman has just been Bruce Wayne for too long. Like it's time for there to also be Batman Alonso, I say. Okay, now
another from Batman Alonso. Thank you,
Batman Alonso. Always bringing the joy of Batman Alonso. Can't get enough.
After 55 votes, the Metroid Prime Artifact is leading as the worst fetch quest with 52% of the votes, and the Wind Waker Triforce quest is 48%. I think the Wind Waker sounds worst.
It's just that like the stuff that you're doing, like to do the.
I mean, which one's worse doing the second time? Like at least when you do if you're playing Prime for the second time, you can kind of grab a lot of the stuff as you're going.
Yeah,
you know, if you remember where it is.
Like exploring the islands and getting the stuff on the islands is like that's what's fun about this game.
Yeah.
So like
another $1.99 from Batman Alonso, going crazy tonight. The stream screen is almost entirely dominated by Batman Alonso.
Wow, love to see it.
Cashman Alonso. Oh, you can collect all but 2 Triforce pieces before the Wind Temple.
Okay. Oh, here's the Fishman. The Fishman rules. The Fishmen are where my alternative username that I sometimes have to use on various services if I can't get Triforce for some reason. You know, is Triumph Forks.
Yeah.
Because the legend of the Triforce has gotten so like muddied over the years that like they believe it's the Triumph Forks, the legendary Triumph Forks. They're on that island there.
Yeah. Isn't like doesn't the end of this game show like the ocean kind of drains essentially? Does it show the world at any point without the water?
No, but there's like a dome over Hyrule.
Okay.
And that's
right.
That like releases at the end. So
right.
I'm sure the water level like goes down to some extent, but you know, Phantom Hourglass takes place 100 years later. And, you know, the world is still like, you know, at least what you explore in that game is largely dominated by ocean.
Really?
Oops.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Oh,
There's another $1.99 from Batman Alonso. Thank you. Going crazy. But you don't get a chance to run around in that dome, do you? Because it kind of shows you like, oh,
you do to an extent, yeah. Like it's mostly the castle. I don't really remember if you like can see like the town or anything like that. Let's see. Okay, well, all right. The Deku Tree is way far south. Of course, you can like do some stuff on the side if you want. I could probably go with that fairy fountain right there. Let's see how difficult that.
People are saying Phantom Hourglass is Wind Waker Link. Spirit Tracks is 100 years later.
Phantom Hourglass is no.
Phantom Hourglass
No. It's a different Link because Link is like roommates with like the Swabby on Tetra's ship. Oh, really? Okay, I guess you can't venture off track.
I don't know. People are saying it's only a few months later for Phantom Hourglass.
No.
But are you sure it's not Spirit Tracks? It's not?
No, I don't remember anything about Spirit Tracks in terms of like timeline. But like, so at the beginning, the Swabby, like the guy that like made me do that swinging stuff in the pirate ship, he's like 100 years older. He's like a super old man in Phantom Hourglass, and he's like Link's roommate. Like a Link that's like the same age as this Link. It's a different Link. It's a different Link 100 years later. It absolutely is. Wait, Phantom Hourglass is... So
Phantom Hourglass takes place no more than a year after the Wind Waker.
Really? So wait,
according to the Zeldapedia.
So and then
it says right here, it says that Spirit Tracks takes place 100 years
so
after.
Spirit Tracks is the one with the Swabby?
People are sorry, Try, you are wrong.
Well, listen, I don't
takes no more than a year after Wind Waker with the same length. Spirit Tracks takes place at least 100 years after the events of Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass.
I mean,
the game is set in New Hyrule, which was founded by Link and Tetra after being told to look for the land of their own.
All right. I could have swore it was Phantom Hourglass that had the swap.
Sounds like you might need to replay that.
See, I mean, the thing is, I don't particularly like those games.
Oh, I mean, once I found out like they have, you got to play it like one hand on the D-pad and the other with the stylus, right?
The fact of the matter is, honestly, the controls are great. Like I think like they did as good as they could of. Like if they're going to make this like an all touch screen game, like they did as good as they could have. Like I think they actually like the core of the game is really good. I think it's just that I just think the games they built around them isn't particularly interesting.
Did you know that the Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes takes place a few years after A Link Between Worlds?
I didn't know that. That's like the only Zelda game I haven't played through, other than Echoes of Wisdom, which I'm intending to play on the Switch too now.
All right, Batman Alonso, another $1.99 hit, like has filled up the entire scoreboard now.
Wow!
I bet you, Batman Alonso just won a bunch of money from this Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and is making it rain in the chat.
Spirit Tracks also had a recurring dungeon, but it was not that bad. But like, I don't know. I just didn't think that the games built around them was very interesting. But I think the core like game engine I thought was good.
Really? I have them both, but I've never played them.
Yeah, like I thought the controls and everything I thought was good. But all right, well, I'm actually pretty surprised I got that far. So that's cool. Guess I should well, no harm in making a save state here. You think I should do like one like arcade round of Soul Calibur?
Sure.
See if I can beat it.
Are you gonna play as Link?
Maybe I will just for the fun of it. I could do this in
Could do this all day.
I could do this in widescreen. Let's do it in widescreen because I already booted this and set widescreen. Although, you know, more stuff actually stretches in this game than I remembered or realized. But I'm pretty sure the actual gameplay is it's actually kind of surreal actually to see the way that like F-Zero and
it looks good. It looks
it's amazing like how quickly like they just changed like seamlessly. It's just weird because I'm used to like there being like the extra step of like, okay, now I have to you know, stretch it or unstretch it on the TV or the retro tank or whatever, right?
Yeah, I love that it covers up your icon up there too.
Yup. I wish there was another way to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it actually stretches more than I remembered. I'm hoping that beating arcade mode might unlock Sung Mina because she's my favorite character. And I feel like I remember her being like the first unlock. But I could be wrong.
You gotta hit the button so he goes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What was interesting is like I had forgotten about that, but I was like, oh, Street Fighter 6 like totally took that because you can you can do like on the versus screen you can have them like make different faces and stuff. And I was like, oh, I bet it's like came from this.
Maybe.
My favorite character was Talon.
Yeah, she's up there too. My like the two I was best with were Sung Mina and Xiangla. But or actually, no, my second best might have been Raphael.
I have to look at my old memory card to see who I played as the most outside of Talon.
Yeah, I mean Talon was pretty
It
high
might have
up
been
there
Huang
too.
Sun Young.
I mean Link is decent, but like it's been so long since I actually like tried playing as him.
Yeah.
Is
this the first time that they let a third party put one of their characters in their game?
Huh?
Was this one of the first times that they ever let a third party put one of their characters in their game, like on a guest spot like this?
I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Because I feel like it was a
big deal.
Yeah, it totally was, and they all had like decent characters, but nobody came even close.
Oh yeah.
You know, like they were just doing whatever they could.
Remember
like,
Yoda and Darth Vader in PS3 and Xbox Soul Calibur 4? You know, a game I've thought about streaming sometime is Soul Calibur 5. You know, I actually only just got that like, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I got it when, remember when Henry was here and we did the, like, was it the 10th anniversary MLiG stream? Where I played DuckTales.
Okay.
Yeah, when Henry was visiting, that was when I got the 360 version of Soul Calibur 5, which I just like completely skipped that one, and I was just like really shocked by like how good looking it is. It's just like crazy good looking.
Yeah.
It's like.
Well,
easily one of the best looking games that generation.
Yeah. I think I have the PS3 version.
It's definitely something I'd like to stream sometime. Because I've not played much of it, but I like what I've played. The only thing is that the only thing is that it's mostly like unfamiliar characters.
Wait, in 6 or
5?
In 5.
6 is like kind of
then they have the like kind of like because 6 is kind of like a soft reboot.
Yeah. the Bob. I couldn't remember how to do it. I mean, this game I think is like such a better example of why the GameCube can like button layout is so good. I think it's a far better example than Smash Brothers. Like people are like very picky about this controller for Smash Brothers, but I think just the fact that you can hit A and Y, A and B, A and X even to some extent X and Y simultaneously. It's just so much more versatile for, you know, hitting these multiple buttons.
Yeah.
Than a diamond layout. And I think like it's kind of, think of it like an upside down T at a slight angle. Like you could do that with like normal shaped buttons. Like you don't, like GameCube controller doesn't have to be about the weird layouts necessarily, you know?
Yeah, well, when it plays to that strength, I mean, I really like games that use the controller in the way that, like, you know, the A is the main button, and you got to hold down, is it Y? It's like
to boost.
Yeah, to boost, or like in Rogue Squadron when it brings up your like reticle, like the little like thing that you can, like, goes in front of his eyes.
Jeez.
So that you can like track.
Oh, okay.
Enemies.
Yeah, like just the feel of like tapping the Y button from A feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah, the targeting computer. Yeah.
But yeah, like I never played Soul Calibur 3 all that much. Like probably
it was always really weird that they went PS2 exclusive for it.
I know. And
because clearly, like, this version sold the most out of all of these.
Did it? I mean,
I would assume so. I feel like.
I mean, but there's a lot of people with PS2s. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, this is the only one that people remember.
Sure.
Let me see. Let's see if I can find that.
But yeah, like I didn't play Soul Calibur 3 that much because I'm like, man, this controller is like such a downgrade from the GameCube controller for this game. Like I just, and of course, you know, that's how it is, you know, for any of the sequels. So it's like, now it's like, we'll get used to it. But
so Namco sold 500,000 copies of the GameCube version, 447,000 on PS2, and 320,000 on Xbox.
That's actually shockingly even. And I'm surprised. Like,
yeah.
I'm actually surprised. I'm honestly surprised that PS2 wasn't a million seller.
Yeah. It's interesting. Valdo. I always love in the Dreamcast version of 1, you can, when you unlock everything, you can put any character in any role during the intro, because the intro is real time.
Oh.
So you can like swap any characters into like each shot. And there's one where it's like Sophia like standing up in a field of flowers, and she gets up and she like runs her hands through her hair and stuff, and I would always make that Valdo.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you unlock that?
I just imagine going.
How do you unlock that?
It's in the Dreamcast version. I think it's like after you unlock everything.
Okay.
Or it's like a custom like intro where you can just swap any character out.
That's really funny. Like I mean I played a decent bit of the Dreamcast version back in the day, but like, you know, I didn't have a Dreamcast when I got this, you know, so I put a ton of time into this game, so like, you know, when I had Dreamcast much later, you know, it's a cool game, of course, but I've never really gone like all in on going back to it, you know?
Yeah. Bayros saying Spirit Tracks is objectively better than Phantom Hourglass. It's like the exact same game, but with less nonsense.
Oh, I agree for sure. Except I didn't like the train gameplay as much as I had hoped I would. But what I do really like is the train like overworld music. Like that's like pretty top tier. But
Really?
the actual gameplay, not so much. Oh yeah, the train music is fantastic.
Do you think it would be able to? You think it could be remade without any kind of like motion controls and it would work?
Oh, absolutely.
It would be neat if they did something like that. If they remade both of those games.
Pretentious fool.
Tsurugi. When Mitsurugi looks like that, he almost looks exactly like Haomaru in Samurai Showdown. Like his clothes and everything is very similar.
Mm.
They did that 3D Samurai Showdown reboot, and I know that they had some characters from other fighting games in there, but did they have Soul Calibur characters in it, I wonder?
Would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That was pathetic after a pretty good first fight.
I wish Analog made a new pocket that could play DS and 3DS games too.
Almost fell off there.
And dock to your TV. That would be pretty cool. I just thought about the fact that I feel like I haven't heard anything about anything from Analog
Yeah, well, I mean,
in a while.
I mean, I'm sure the pricing of the 3D maybe became a concern, especially given all the pre-orders that were taken, you know? How many stages are in arcade here? Link jumping across all that's kind of funny.
I feel like there is like weird loading there. Like it didn't appear there like in the first like frame or something like that. And I feel like it is not like that in the original.
It's playing Link's music here.
Oh, that's cool. Is Maxie in this one? Yeah, the nunchucks.
Yes. I never could control him.
Yeah, he just button mash him and he does all this ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
He's like rolling around on the ground and stuff. Doing flips. Is this the Temple of Time? No, I don't think it's...
I don't think this is meant to be a Zelda themed stage. I feel like this is like Sophitia's stage, maybe? Because this is not Raphael's default stage for sure. It's like his is like a library. Unless I'm getting that confused with Ivy's stage.
Maybe. Is Ivy next?
No, it looks like it's going to be Nightmare.
Oh, okay. So this is the last boss.
Yeah.
Versus Inferno. The seal was broken, and a new era of terror has begun.
Some people in the chat are calling Valdo Volvo. Oh no, it's Inferno. But he controls as a random character, right? It's like different every time.
Maybe. I don't fully remember. Oh yeah, he's taller.
Did this come out before or after Wind Waker? Because it's just interesting
After.
they're using like Ocarina, like it's like Ocarina of Time.
Well, yeah, but you're gonna put Wind Waker Link in,
I know.
this game. Yeah, because well, Wind Waker came out my second semester freshman year in college. Oh, now he's Keelik. And
Why has he changed so many times?
he got me. This game and
Space
F-Zero.
World Link.
This game and F-Zero came out the same week, like at the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the very beginning of my sophomore year. So like or what wasn't the big? What month did they come out in, like August or September? I think they came out in September. Can you look up what the release date for F-Zero GX and Soul Calibur 2 were? Because I think it was like August or he's Yoshimitsu now.
Okay, July 5th, 2002.
No, in
For
the
Soul
US
Calibur.
though. In the US on consoles. It was definitely not July.
Final battle. Fight. Fight.
Arcade release. Okay, March 27th, 2003.
For US on consoles? No.
I'm seeing so many dates.
It was like August, September, or October. It was one of those
I saw
months.
in August 2003.
Well, I know for a fact this came out in the US the same week as F-Zero
August 27th, 2003. Does that sound right?
Huh?
August 27th, 2003.
That sounds right. Look up F-Zero GX. It was like a day or two before or after. Link came to this world in order to defeat the evil which threatened Hyrule. After a long journey, Link finally...
It's saying, is that North America on August 25th, 2003.
Yeah, see? I told you. So I got both of these day one and was like, for like weeks, like alternating between playing them. I've actually got, I'm pretty sure it's in my
The
parents'
GameCube
house.
version of this?
I don't think it's, yes, I do have that, amazingly. I got for like picking it up at EB Games, day one, I have like it's a pretty decent little quality, matte, a print of like Link from this game with like a matte frame around it. I wonder if it's
Really?
like valuable at all.
I don't know. I probably had that at one point too.
I mean, it's in great condition. Not that I would sell it, but I'm just curious if it's worth anything. So did that not? I wonder how you unluxing me.
Maybe on weapon master mode.
Probably. I remember her. I feel like I remember her unlocking really early. But anyway.
I think that I worked at Game Crazy when this came out, and F-Zero came out. Game Crazy.
Yeah, so there you have it. I'm impressed with the progress I made in Wind Waker in the span of such a short time. And you know, the controller sensitivity definitely needs some finessing, I would say. But you know what I could actually do to just test it in general very.
Yeah, can you said there's a calibration in F-Zero?
Well, yeah, so let me show you that actually. This is also why I'm surprised that the Pro controller also seemed very sensitive in Wind Waker. I wonder if it could be kind of like a game-to-game thing. You know, because this would, you know what's another game that would be awesome to come on here would be Time Splitters 2 and Time Splitters Future Perfect. Those would be really cool to see on here. But a very similar thing happened where when that was released on Xbox backwards compatibility, Time Splitters 2, the stick sensitivity was nuts. And it was it was unplayable when they released it. It was unbelievable that they tested this and are like, yeah, ship it. It was unplayable. And I was very concerned about it. And they did fix it. But anyway, options, controller. So calibration. So I'm going to use the GameCube controller first. And now, in theory, I assume you can fix this in theory by accepting okay, yes, let's accept these changes. But if okay, so I see how it goes to 100 and stops at 100, but I'm actually not actually at the full. I'm close to the edge, maybe 80 to 90% from the edge when it reaches 100. So they're not really using the full range here. There's more they could get. What's interesting is I tested this on original hardware with both one of the newer controllers that was sold with either Smash 4 or Smash Ultimate, I'm not sure which.
Right.
As well as my launch day controller that's obviously a lot more worn down. And what's interesting about the fact that even though I can move the stick beyond the point where it says 100, in the original hardware, you can actually move it beyond 100. So I'm surprised that this is actually limited in this way. I wonder what's causing that, because on my original controller, it was a little looser and it would be 105 in one direction and 98 in the opposite direction. So obviously that stick was a little less well calibrated, I would say. And then the newer one was very good. So if I go back here and then do it on the Pro controller instead, what's interesting about this is that it really lets you use the full range of the stick all the way to the very edge, to the point that actually I might have seen 100. I can see 100 just barely flicker on there for a split second, for a frame. But mostly it stops at 99. I guess technically, but I feel the game itself probably there's no difference between 99 and 100. I'm just guessing, so it probably doesn't actually matter. But this suggests that the Pro Controller is actually probably better for this game.
I mean, it gives you a lot of. I mean, it looks so much smoother. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
look how I'm able to like move in like a, not like not easily move in a circle, but like the difference the difference with the GameCube controller, and this is something.
It's just interesting the game recognizes. I guess.
But I mean, the GameCube controller, it makes you want to stick to the gates, really, right? So it's like it's less difficult to like move the stick smoothly in there. And this was like a big revelation for me, when I replayed Time Splitters 2 and most of Time Splitters 3 on PS2 when I was working on that Perfect Dark Zero video. And I realized like how much more fun I had with that game with a round gate versus, because I always played Future Perfect on the PS2, but I initially played Time Splitters 2 on GameCube, and I was like, yeah, this game's good. It's not amazing or anything. And then I play on PS2. I'm like, holy cow, this game is incredible. And the playing it on a stick with a round gate made a huge difference because, as you can imagine, this like locking to these octagons is like not great for looking in a first-person shooter. Like it works in GoldenEye in part because it's like muscle memory, but like that makes such a big difference. So like a game like Time Splitters 2, if they get the calibration right, would be amazing on the Pro Controller. That would actually be pretty high up, I would say, for my my requests of like third-party games on here if they could make that happen. I see. I don't know if, you go ahead and read it.
I saw that there was Shadow Mask has been a member for 44 months in a row. So it was asking, what do you think of the new RetroTink RGB cables? And we have the dongles.
Yeah, I've not used them
extensively. I haven't really used them.
I've not used them. I've done a little testing, but not extensively.
Yeah. I wish I had a better answer for you, but
I mean, I was impressed with what I saw, but I haven't done anything like super extensive. The CRT filter is on if it looks weird on the stream, but I'm going to test the GameCube and Pro Controller sensitivity here just to see like at what.
Well, there was in addition, there's $2 from Dad1153 asking what's the name of the Goomba on the wall.
Goomba on the wall, I guess. Yeah. I remember the vendor that it came from. I got that at the Music City.
Goomba on the wall now. His name is Goomba on the wall.
I got him from the Music City Multicon, and the booth of the artists that made it and a bunch of other like kind of block sprite art was two nerds and a dog, which I thought was a nice name. Two nerds and a dog. Okay. I mean, not that obviously the N64 emulator wouldn't be tuned to play with this, but he's definitely going full speed too early on the GameCube controller. So if I switch to the Pro Controller, I feel like the controllers connect a lot faster than Switch.
Yeah.
One. All right, let's
I've noticed that.
Let's see here.
Like I'm just tiptoeing. Just tiptoeing.
He's definitely
Goomba
going
on the
full.
wall.
He's going full speed a little early here too. Just for completeness sake, before we sign off here, I'll do it with the N64 controller just to make sure I'm not crazy about. Because I'm pretty sure this is decently calibrated, if I recall. This one might not be synced. Oh, it is. Oh, it needs a charge. Well, this one's
Dang.
taking a while to connect.
I feel like the batteries on these things just die so easily because like they don't.
Well, and you know, I don't use the N64 app. Like I actually don't like have like an N64 controller like on charge. Because like I don't really use like I mean, I only recently just got the N64 app. Like I don't use this controller a lot.
Yeah. I do think it's funny that Allie Lawrence in the chat is saying this is my favorite part of the stream all night. You know, I think it's funny because it's like, you know, some people like live for this shit. You know, like that's what makes it fun.
Here, I'm going to get over here where I'm less likely to fall into the water. You know, I think the CRT filter in the GameCube app actually looks better than this one.
But would you say that neither one of them are like all that great?
They're
not so good that only the Switch 2 can handle it.
I actually think that the GameCube one's pretty good. I actually would say I overall prefer it to. This is pretty good. With the N64 stick's pretty good. I'm not. You know, I'm not enough of an expert to say if it's perfect, but it's like it's close enough for me, and I'm fairly picky, but I ain't no speedrunner, you know. I ain't no speedrunner or like, you know, reverse engineerer of Mario 64 as there's definitely people who are even more experts than me. You know, I would not consider myself, you know, I'd consider myself a low level expert. This is good with the N64 controller. So they just have some work to do, I would say, with the some work to do with the GameCube calibration and the GameCube app, and I almost wonder if it's a little bit different from game to game because the sensitivity in Wind Waker almost seems a little extreme, actually.
Yeah.
So compared,
maybe it's just
even more so than F-Zero. So hopefully it's something that they can fix because it does need to be improved. I hope, you know, I was actually so this is an interesting compatibility quirk. And I confirmed it with our friend Dala just today. I have like a physical cartridge of Harvestella. It was initially on the list of games with compatibility issues of some description, and then it was marked resolved, I think, by launch or shortly after launch. And when I initially tried to boot it, it just went to a black screen. And I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't work. So, actually, what I was like, this is weird. It's marked resolved. So I tried booting it while handheld, and it booted. And then I was able to dock it. And by the way, the game has noticeably higher dynamic resolution on Switch 2. I'm like, this is strange. And so I asked in our Discord, can anyone like double check this? And Uramashi has it, but I believe a digital copy. And they said, oh yeah, but it booted while docked. So I asked Dala because I knew he was a fan of the game, and I knew he would almost certainly have a physical copy because he's a physical media guy, and he was traveling, but he got back today and he said like, yeah, it will not boot in docked mode, but it will boot in handheld mode. I wonder if there's any other examples
I
of that.
feel like that's just something that's it can be fixed on a firmware level.
I would like to think so, because apparently a number of games, including I believe most Carbon Engine games, were fixed with the firmware update that happened like the middle of this past week.
Right.
So, hopefully that's something like, whether they know about that specific issue or not, like hopefully that's something that would just like end up getting fixed somehow in a firmware update. But like how, like I don't know if there's like, if a game like outright crashes, like it did happen to me once in Cyberpunk. Like if it outright crashes, like it does, like say like, hey, would you like to submit this so that the developer would you like to submit like the data, anonymous data, so the developer can, be aware of these issues? Of course I said yes. But it did not, there's, the game isn't crashing when it just goes to the black screen. It just goes to the black screen and doesn't proceed. So like, I don't know if there's like a mechanism like to report these things, like how do developers find out about bugs that aren't like through like submission systems, like, on the hardware?
Because nobody's sitting there playing every single inch of every one of these games.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't really know how that works.
Who the heck knows?
Yeah. Well, I see Spicy Pickles came in at the wrong time because the stream
wrong
is
time.
over.
We're just wrapping it up.
But I'll tell you what's up. I got all the way to the whatever the Deku Tree Island in Wind Waker is called. I landed on the island. I made landfall in the span of like less than 3 hours, I think. So I'd say that's pretty impressive. I'm pleased with myself. So thanks everyone for watching, and everyone who sent
Thanks
the
everybody
super
who
chats.
donated.
Yeah. And we're really hoping we can get our like Switch 2 backwards compatibility and retro gaming review out this week.
Yeah.
Whatever we're going to call that. We really want to get that
I
out
know
this
that
week.
it's like almost like what nobody wants from us.
Whoa!
But you know what? But at the same time, we decided we're just doing what we want to do now.
We're doing it in our own way. Like that's the whole idea behind the video is like what are some of like the specific questions that like people like us want to know the answers to, or concerns that we would have that like, most people just wouldn't think about or wouldn't care about. People who are more interested in like their legacy games than what's ahead, So that's kind of what it's all about. Like, it's not your typical Switch 2 review, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So it's our own way of doing. So,
yep.
Thanks for watching and good night.
Good night, everybody.